LNK.com. LNK, make flying easy.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Alexander Fern, the voice of the Lincoln Stars, telling you to join the Stars Saturday, January 24th at the Icebox for our annual Aubrey Brown Club night. The Stars are at home to take on the Omaha Lancers at 6 p.m. Proceeds from the night will go toward a great cause. The Aubrey Brown Club is a local foundation that helps parents through the tragedy of child loss. The Stars will be wearing special jerseys that will be auctioned off following the game. And don't miss a great night for a great cause at the Icebox, Saturday, January 24th. Tickets are available at lincolnstars.com. Proceeds from the night will be donated to the Aubrey Brown Club.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. Into the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, it is. Welcome in on a blustery cold Thursday here in the capital city, but hearts are warm as Nebraska men's basketball moves to 19-0 last night, 8-0 in the Big Ten Conference. We'll talk about that to lead off the show. Plenty more to get to in the realm of college hoops, college football, and the NFL as well throughout the course of the show. I'm Austin. He's Jay. This is Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company. They're celebrating 75 years of proudly serving the Midwest. They're more than just tires. They do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, you can trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. As always, 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, how about them Huskers? Did again.
Yeah, I mean, look, they obviously had a standard that they've been playing by, and
you have expectations and people want you to, I was talking about maybe you could, double them up considering that Washington was undermanned, but I think you got to give, Washington credit. They came in and competed. They pushed the pace actually against Nebraska, challenged them, but then Nebraska was able to withstand that. And then once they started to get busy in that second half, obviously the game was well within hand. I think it's a good place to be for a team that's new to this territory of being the hunted. I think that's also it's a good time to have a challenging game. I mean, obviously, you win by double digits. You still had it well in hand. The reason why I think it's important, you had different guys step up and do different things. I wanted to tip my hat to Sam Hoiberg. I mean, hey, I gotta give it to him. He broke a couple of ankles and tried to drop a dime. I didn't know he had that. Hey, Sam, if you listen, I know you had that in your bag, brother. I know you were capable.
Yeah.
But I know you had that in your game.
In your game, not just in your practice, not just in your work, in your game.
Listen, you're not going to bring that out there on the court in front of 20,000 people unless you know what you're doing. Go ahead, Sam. I want to give him those props. But I think this where Nebraska's at, right? You're past the are they for real? They've proven that they've actually exceeded that. And then now it's them getting comfortable in their new skin, right? The standard or maybe the words that were said or said throughout the whole nation, every team coming in, we want to win it all. We want to win every game and all this. We want to be ranked. It's come to fruition. So now you're a new person, a new team, and not a new team in the sense you act any different. People are looking at you different. So now you're going to get everybody's best shot. You'll see it on Saturday at 11 o'clock up there at the barn. But no matter if it's home or away, you're going to get everybody's best shot. You withstood it, and then you proved your dominance again under some not so ideal circumstances. You got to think you got Rink probably a little on the mend, a little bit. He's still kind of just working his way and kind of treading water a little bit. And then obviously Braden Frager, you got a little bit lucky with a maybe slightly sprained ankle, and you're able to handle your business.
Yeah, we'll talk about Braden Frager coming up here in just a minute. First time in a few weeks that Rink Mast has made more than one three-pointer in a game. Made 6 against Michigan State, and then it made 1-3 in each of his last 3 games played. Only goes 2 for 8. Fred Hoiberg said, though, he thought a couple more of them were going down. Shot looked good. And obviously he's not worried about Rink Mast. Jay, only a 10-point, quote-unquote, only a 10-point win for Nebraska that I think feels about right, but maybe undersells how well Nebraska played when it really mattered. Nebraska got off to a hotter start. It was up and down. Washington hung in it. They hit some tough shots in the beginning. It felt maybe a little bit like Oregon, though, where Nebraska took control middle, late part of that first half. And then Nebraska did go on a little bit of a run, not as big as Oregon, obviously. Not as
usually and not the normal Nebraska run.
Right. Never got that 10-0 run that Evan Miyakawa would quantify as a kill shot. Had a 9-0 run in there. But what we saw, Jay, more important than however long your longest run is you won the game and you kept Washington at arm's length. This is another game that Washington, I think, was able to keep more game pressure on Nebraska than Oregon was in the second half, than Northwestern was after about the 16-minute mark of that game. It was a better test for Nebraska. Washington was better at getting to what it did well than those other teams. But for every big shot that Washington would hit in the first half, Nebraska would answer.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, right, Nebraska goes on a scoring drought of over 3 minutes, which is kind of rare for this team. You haven't noticed it nearly as much. Washington cuts its largest deficit of 18 points down to 11 in the span of like 3 minutes, and kind of turning into a grind, turning into a slog. Just kind of in a holding pattern. Nebraska's waiting for something to happen. Washington's trying to make another shot to get it back within single digits. Well, I think it was Fred Hoiberg calls the timeout for the U12 media timeout. Out of that break, draws up a 3-point play for Price Sanford, who knocks it down. Nebraska gets a stop, rebound, one and done. Kepnong loses Rink Mast in transition, another 3-pointer, and then it's right back up to 17. A 3-minute scoring drought erased. Washington couldn't even have the deficit, never got it down to single digits. And that's twofold. Number one, it's Nebraska doing enough work to give themselves that cushion to work with as they work through some things down Frager there, where he would usually provide a spark in the second half. And number two, your 2 best players, your 2 most consistent offensive threats at the very least, in Sanford and Mast, stepped up big when you needed them to the most.
Yeah, and I think it's the maturity of this team. It's chemistry or togetherness or whatever you want to call it. They got it. Another interesting, I guess, plethora of plays where it kind of got sped up, where Washington came down, they shot a 3. Nebraska had Rink, I think, shot a 3. They got it back. Washington tried to dribble drive. They missed a shot. Nebraska missed a shot. Nebraska finally had a good defensive series, and I know Fred put up the stop sign to slow them down.
Yeah.
They were already going to do it. So that lets you know
Yeah.
their intention and their attention to detail in the game. They can play however you want it. You want to go and try to, get into a little AAU game where we're going, one shot for shot. We'll answer the call. But then after you don't pick up the phone and call, we'll just go ahead and just talk to ourselves. And so, look, I think this team has more depth and they know their roles. They step up when need be. And obviously, Garcia, I think got a little bit more playing time, and so you like to see that. Obviously, Caleb Jacobson as well. I think he's able to play. Really can play 1 through 3. Because he's a physical kid. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, and you can when you have flexibility, you can withstand Washington's best shot. You got to think they did a really good job in the first half on Steinbach, right? Really good job. He started to, their coach at halftime came out of halftime, and when he did the interview, said, "We got to get you going." So they were able to withstand that, and then they were able to focus on other guys and really take control of this game. So, and this is probably a game like it was a 10-point margin, but it really wasn't that close.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Washington needs to, they get to fly all the way home to Seattle. Like, oh, we were within 10
on the road, top 10 team.
top 10 team. We're making progress. Nah, you were down by 13 at halftime.
Yeah.
Nebraska really wasn't playing that well. And you were down, obviously, mid to high teens at times during the game. So it really wasn't that close.
You never really seriously threatened.
No.
You went back and forth in the first half.
It wasn't
then you
within
give up a big
four.
no.
Yeah.
The only other time I think Washington had a chance to apply game pressure it was a 13-point game with like 5.5 minutes to go. They get an open left slot 3. If they hit that one, 10.5 minutes to go. Nebraska kind of lets you creep back in it. Okay, maybe, but they missed the shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska absolutely lives with that. And now, Jay, let's talk the Frager injury. Comes in his very first stint of the game, gets out in transition, finishes the layup, no foul, just an awkward landing.
Yeah.
He plays out the rest of the segment. You could tell he was hobbling a little bit, goes to the locker room during that media timeout, doesn't come back till I think the second half, trailed the team out and was sitting there with the boot. He goes down. The Husker fans collectively kind of held their breath. It came out today from multiple sources that it does seem like what Fred Hoiberg said last night is still true. Just an ankle sprain for Braden Frager. Just a sprain. Nothing appears to be broken. Still waiting for the swelling to go down enough to do the x-ray, but they canceled the MRI, and the line right now is day to day. Don't really know what that window means, but at the very least, it seems like Nebraska avoided the worst case scenario, and Braden Frager will be available, I would guess, conservatively mid-February.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just depends on the grade. I mean, sometimes, look, it hasn't even been 24 hours. So it's, this is going to be the swelling is going to be at the most. And they got a good, staff over there to, kind of get around the clock treatment. So I think he might be back or maybe available before then. But I think also this team is good enough that you don't have to rush him back. It's not like, I mean, obviously, last year we weren't able to get into the Big Ten tournament. It's not like we need every single victory just to get into the pre-dance, which I call the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
Right now, I think you're looking long term. You're looking big picture, and that's what you have to do as a coach and a staff. And so when he comes back, he'll be ready. He's young, and it's kind of just like a freak, accident, or got kind of tangled up there a little bit.
If you've played basketball, you've rolled your ankle.
Yeah, and so he's a tough kid, and obviously he'll be missed, but they have enough guys on their roster that can step up. It's a great opportunity for Garcia to play extended minutes. Caleb Jacobson already plays like, anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes or 14 to 18 minutes. That might be a little bit more. He's well capable of doing that. And then, you might put a little bit more on Rink. He was able to go 33 last night, which is almost double than what he'd been playing, or about 20. So he has it in him, and, you're going on the road here. And so it's going to be, batten down the hatches. But the one thing I like about this team, without Braden Frager being available, you had 4 starters in double figures.
Yeah.
And
all of them hit big shots at some point throughout the game.
And Burke had 8. And again, give him a tip of the cap too. He had 8 points, 4-6 shooting, 7 rebounds. I mean, look, I mean, it's everybody pulling their own weight, and that's what you like. And the one thing I like about this team, where I wouldn't say a little worried, but Steinbach was getting a little bit busy, and Kepnang or whatever his name. He was big. He was a big dude.
I compared him to Kofi Coburn, that old guy from
but
Illinois.
He's quicker.
Yes,
way quicker.
Probably fair. And not quite as big, but similar.
But definitely destructive in the middle. For a while there, for about 2 to 4 minutes, I was like, oh man, they're killing Nebraska on the boards. It was early in the game, and then Nebraska woke up. They kind of got a little bit in a better defensive position, and then that's really helped them. And then I always look at their rebounding numbers, and Nebraska's went in too. And I'd probably say start to finish, it probably wasn't their best rebounding game, but I think also Washington, like they always do, have guys that can kind of really offset that because they got 2 7-footers. One happens to be a freshman, and I'm not sure what year number 11 is, but they're extremely athletic. They attack the ball, and I think at times they had both of them in there.
Yeah.
And then you had 41 in there as well. So Nebraska did a good job of answering the bell on a Tuesday, and
Wednesday,
excuse me. Dang, my days are messed up. That's how cold it is. But on a Wednesday, knowing that, you still get, you got the Minnesota aspect of it down the road. I think it's a really good job of showing some maturity, competitiveness, and then obviously togetherness to get through this game, and then play well. More times than not.
Yeah, I think these last 2 games for Nebraska, Northwestern, and now Washington have kind of led into this Minnesota game. And was talking about this a little bit with Harrison last night on postgame, Jay. This is the quintessential kind of trap game coming up for Nebraska on Saturday, right? You're on the road for the first of your 2 road games. You're looking ahead to at least a top 10 matchup against Michigan, if not more. If there's any Nebraska team, or program shy of volleyball that I trust right now not to overlook a game, it's this basketball program, right? Who's continued to buy into the, one game at a time, not satisfied kind of mantra. If there's a coach that I think can cover for the absence of, a key player like Braden Frager, I think it's Fred Hoiberg, putting guys in position to succeed. It's going to look a little bit different, but maybe it won't, right? There have been times I've said, I think Nebraska might need to try something a little different defensively. Do they have the personnel to do what they want to do? How's it going to work? Are they going to try something different? No, they're just going to put a new guy in that position. Sure, play to his strengths. It won't be 100% the same, but Nebraska's identity didn't go out the window with Braden Frager going down. This team is old. It's mature. It knows who it is. It knows how to execute when the game's on the line. I think Minnesota's a tall task. I think the fact they beat Iowa, I think within the last 10 days, certainly I know they knocked Iowa off and they were a top 25 team, ought to have Nebraska's attention, right? Minnesota, after this Nebraska game, enters an entirely gettable stretch for them. If they can pick this one off to kickstart a run and get themselves on the right side of the NCAA tournament bubble in year 1 under Nico Medved, they're here for it. Nebraska's going to, I would say, walk into a hornet's nest, but I suppose a Gopher's den is probably
the Gophers are looking forward to this game.
Oh, yeah. So Nebraska has to look forward to it just as much, if not more.
Yeah, and I think, with Garcia and obviously Kale, they'll be just fine. It'd be a good time for my man, Mr. Blue, even though he's from Woodbury, which is taking over Eden Prairie as the best city in the state of Minnesota, according to the magazine up in Minnesota. It's a good time for him to get up the pace, and he's going back to familiar territory. But more importantly, those 7 guys that I just mentioned, obviously the 5 starters, and then Garcia and Jacobson, they'll be just fine. But you need extended minutes. You don't know if it's Leo, right? To come in there and provide us a little bit of it, and it's not. And here's the thing you have to understand is like, Braden's been playing really, really consistent now, or more consistent than he had been early in the year. Because remember, it was 1 game on, 1 game off, and everybody's looking at points, but the whole game.
The impact, yeah.
And so, you're on like a 3 or 4 game stretch where he's been really, really consistent. But so you just got to plan and kind of divvy it up and have guys step up, right? So you don't have to play outside of yourself. You just got to play your role. You're just playing a little bit longer. You should look forward to it. A Kale Jacobson and a Garcia, you should be welcoming this. You should be thinking back to Illinois game, right? And how you guys were, each were able to do, big things to help you win on the road.
Yeah.
In a somewhat hostile environment at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I think this team I agree with you, is built to do that, and is probably the most trustworthy team in this type of environment. Outside the volleyball team for sure. And then obviously it's basketball season. So they're going to be motivated. And also the good thing about last night's game is it's a teachable moment after a victory, so you'll have their attention whenever they get back to work.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of already you addressed the Braden Frager thing. I'm sure they put out a statement, or Fred has said something. They're back. They at least doing some film study and maybe weights and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at that game, and you have in 2 games here, from Saturday in 6 days or whatever, and 2 big games for different reasons, the attention to detail will be there.
Yeah, and it's going to be some of that mental attention to detail. Fred Hoiberg mentioned in postgame that until Frager returns, they might have to back off some of the physical aspects of practice. This has been a team that has really had to get after it physically on the boards, especially to just drill into their heads. Hey, got to rebound, got to rebound, got to rebound. It's been working well. It can't take a step back at this point. Jay, I didn't notice this from national outlets, and I'm sure some of this was written before Nebraska's win or amended right before publishing. But reading The Athletic, they did a college basketball mailbag, and the lead question in the headline, what needs to change or what needs to get better for top 10 teams? The question from the reader, we're about 10 weeks away from March Madness. What does each team in the AP top 10 need to show to gain your support as national title picks? I'm going to read you the team and what needs to improve, according to The Athletic, and tell me if there's one that stands out to you. Number 1, Arizona. Might be nice to see them play another top 15 caliber team. Number 2, UConn. Better offensive flow and shot making. Number 3, Michigan. A return to early season 3-point shooting. Number 4, Purdue. Better interior defense. Number 5, Duke. Continued effectiveness from Isaiah Evans. Number 6, Houston. Expanding or at least not shortening the rotation. Number 7, Nebraska. Win an NCAA tournament game. Number 8, Gonzaga. Get healthy in the front court. Number 9, Iowa State. Get back to forcing turnovers. Number 10, Michigan State. Stop turning the ball over. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is the lowest common denominator. That is the laziest take. 9 of those top 10 schools got a basketball reason.
Yeah.
And Nebraska got win an NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was like you're up against the clock and you got to post or get it turned in to your editor. It's like, all right, let's just Google Nebraska basketball and what hasn't happened, and they forgot to talk about in real time versus obviously the history of Nebraska basketball. So, I mean, that's just where you're at. I mean, that's part of where you kind of, I couldn't say you dug your grave, but it's part of the deal. And really, if they want to be lazy like that, then you know what? When you really get on that big stage and you do win an NCAA tournament team, then you'll really have their full attention, and they'll actually do a good job of covering the team. So,
but let me ask you that question then. If you're looking at Nebraska, what do you think Nebraska should look to become more consistent at or improve at, especially as we're kind of in the middle grind part of the Big Ten schedule? You get down to late February, early March, you start turning your attention to Big Ten tournament. The excitement ramps up a little bit, but you're in the grind, Jay, of the middle of the long Big Ten slate. What do you think Nebraska needs to get more consistent at or improve at?
I think the one thing that I would say, and this is being nitpicky, and they tried it last night, and I think they do a really good job when they get in the switches, they get ranking. When I referenced it all the way back to Oklahoma game I felt like it was a really good job working inside and out. A little bit more inside presence, but I think Garcia can provide that. He has at times. And the reason why I like that, that's my point. Because if there's ever a time that you can maybe throw your off-speed pitch or pitch that they're not, ready for, it's that. So, Rink is going to be there, but if you're in a physical game or have a really, really good defensive player on Rink, I like him, above the free throw line. Mm-hmm. And if you can bring Garcia in, and then obviously you can have, obviously Price or whoever else combination with him, you're not really messing up your offense. You're really actually running it through Garcia, but it plays to his strengths.
Yeah.
Right. And what I mean by that is him being able and has pretty slick footwork and being able to finish around the rim. You just need to do it like maybe 4 times.
Sure.
Because then that gives the assistant coaches and the coach of the opposing team something to think about, and it changes their defensive scheme. And once you change your defensive scheme to what Nebraska really wants, the floodgates are open. Yeah, so that's what I would think. I know it's not generally what Fred does, but I think you have the ability to do it. They've done it at times. They did it down on their side of the court. They got it to Rink, and Rink passed it out of it, and then they got an easy shot, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing also about last night, to go along with that, a lot of times when they let's say they've, worked the offense, I'll just say below the free throw line and out, they got good shots. I mean, Jamarcus Lawrence missed a couple threes, but they're wide. They're really good shots. And
hit a couple others.
Right.
So.
but he'll normally hit those.
Yeah.
Like, so the game is only within 10, but you get him an open shot like that, I trust him to make 3 to 4.
38% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
He's
3 to
knocking
4
down.
out of 5 versus like 2. And so that's the only thing I would say.
The other thing I would add to that is hand activity defensively. Nebraska only forced 8 turnovers, and Northwestern 2 games ago was a low turnover team. They take good care of it. Washington, I thought Nebraska could have done a little bit better job with it, but
Especially with Diallo.
Diallo,
Yeah.
who, I mean, he was physical, man.
He was.
He looked like a guy, Jay, that was empowered by his coach to go hunt his shot, right?
Yeah.
With Claude out and with Wesley Yates out as well. That looked like a guy that was playing in such a way that his coach said, hey, you're our guy. Go get yours. Go set the tone for us. But we've seen Indiana have success. Northwestern had some success with it. And then Washington, too. Nebraska won't be able to stay in front of many teams one-on-one. Every team is better when the ball zips around the court. The way you beat Nebraska's defense is with the skip pass. Nebraska's got to make those skips harder to come by, right? Better activity in traps, better high hands in mirroring the ball. That has resulted in some open shots for opponents that hasn't really mattered, certainly not in wins and losses. But Fred Hoiberg just harps on hand activity. I think as you get down this stretch that's coming up here, Minnesota has the highest assist rate in the country. They like to move the ball. You got Purdue and Illinois within the next 2 weeks, as well as obviously really good Michigan team as well. Those are big teams that know how to pass the ball. You got to find ways to bother them, at least deflect the ball and give yourself a chance to not give up a wide open 3 to better shooting teams.
Yeah, I like that. And they have you're right. Obviously you worry about, and this is like, we talked about this earlier. You hear high school coaches always talking about being athletic and all that. I mean, that's actually lazy, because even if you're man-to-man defense, you got help defenders and all that, as long as you just don't get just smoked off the dribble or, miss a back cut. But also think that they have the personnel to change it up. You could run a little bit, and you won't have to major in it, right?
Right.
But with those guys, you can run a little bit of a 3-2 zone, so the guys are already placed, and really crank up the pressure, and you have backup both to your left and right? And then also you got to make sure in the corners, skip passes, because they'll go from what I call the pocket or the wing, they'll skip it to the corner or vice versa. Then, but as long as you prepare for that, it's a change up, so you can get to the point that you're talking about easier versus kind of changing up your man-to-man rotation. And then obviously be a game-by-game basis. Obviously, I'm not trying to tell Fred what to do, but they do have the personnel with the addition of Price, along with this version of Berke and Rink and all that, and Garcia, and the smarts of the team. They're able to do things based on the game. And if they could do that against Minnesota, throw them a curveball, you can go up there and get a nice little victory.
I forget which game it was, but for the first time in like 3 years, Nebraska busted out a different defense overall. They went 1-3-1. They have it in their back pocket. They showed, I think it was either late non-conference or early conference that they busted that out. It's in their back pocket. I wonder if a team like Minnesota that likes to move the ball, whether it's coming out of a timeout or off a make, you get a chance to reset the defense. If Nebraska doesn't spring that on Minnesota once or twice.
Yeah, I like it. Because of the personnel they have, I think it'd be a really good option.
I agree. Speaking of the personnel, it's changing in the NFL. A lot of coordinator news, a little bit of head coaching news. Let's get into
Dallas Cowboys.
How about him?
Man, Jerry Jones, you actually supporting the coach, man? Go ahead, Jerry. I don't know what's 2026 turnover new league.
It's never too late. We'll talk NFL coaching news next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheartston. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting upsidebar.com. LNK.com, and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is Alexander Fern, the voice of the Lincoln Stars, telling you to join the Stars Saturday, January 24th at the Icebox for our annual Aubrey Brown Club night. The Stars are at home to take on the Omaha Lancers at 6 p.m. Proceeds from the night will go toward a great cause. The Aubrey Brown Club is a local foundation that helps parents through the tragedy of child loss. The Stars will be wearing special jerseys that will be auctioned off following the game. And don't miss a great night for a great cause at the Icebox Saturday, January 24th. Tickets are available at lincolnstars.com. Proceeds from the night will be donated to the Aubrey Brown Club.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with a bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along in Old School, Austin and Jay with you. Hour 1 of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more info at 402-430-3852, or you can learn more by visiting them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay, lots going on in the NFL sphere. Season not over yet. Plenty of high-profile coaching search names still coaching in conference championship game weekend. That, of course, will be on Sunday. But a lot of moves already made. Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City seems to be a done deal at this point. Mike McDaniel to the Chargers after he withdrew from consideration from the Cleveland Browns job. Let's just take a pause there. 2 new OCs for 2 of the better offenses, you would think, in the AFC West. Tough division gets tougher.
Yeah, it's I mean, things move fast. It started off real slow, and then obviously everybody was on the, Harbaugh watch, and then once that went, and then obviously the Dolphins, finished their head coaching search, and then Mike McDaniel. I think Cleveland is like Cleveland is just getting Cleveland treatment, and
Bad team tax.
It is, and a little bit of ownership or situation. And Mike McDaniel, I think is the most interesting. Him going to L.A. with Jim Harbaugh, I think is the most interesting combo. But obviously, look, when he was offensive coordinator, he's a really good play caller. You can't ever take that away from him. So you got plenty of weapons out there. Matter of fact, I was on TikTok and they were showing Keenan Allen with Mike McDaniel play calling because his ability to win in space, in short spaces. He'll just be a volume guy. It's kind of what they didn't have down in Miami. So
with Hill and Waddle, neither one of those guys.
Yeah, they're outside. They need space, whereas he can do some damage. Matched up against linebackers. So I'm sure that's a really good combination there. And then you got my man Eric Bieniemy going back to Kansas City. Listen, Eric Bieniemy isn't a head coach because he's probably too straightforward and he's probably too honest. Now let's just say that one more time. Eric Bieniemy is probably too straightforward and too honest, and he's not an NFL head coach. He's more than qualified. He doesn't have some sort of bad background that he's not getting hired, or else he would never.
Outside of having attended the University of Colorado.
Right.
But.
And you know what? Time has passed. Okay. Time has passed. We'll let him go on that. He's done everything you need to do as assistant coach. He's been under tutelage of everybody underneath the sun. Everywhere he's been successful. He obviously continues to get hired, and wherever he goes, he makes a big mark. And I think ever since he left Kansas City, they haven't been the same. Now, I think Kansas City wanted to see how it was without him. It worked out for some, but over the period that he's been gone, their edge is gone. They're not as innovative, and this is you're not taking anything from Andy Reid. But you got to think Eric Bieniemy. Remember when he brought out that play that Army ran in like 1950?
Yeah.
The whole thing of kind of with the shovel pass to Kelsey. That's Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. I think they work really well together. I think Mike McDaniel and Jim Harbaugh will work really well together because I think what they do, they have when you look at the two groups, right, the two pods of head coach and offensive coordinator, they both respect each other. They both will push each other. They both will understand the boundaries, but the personalities are different. So it's a great combination. And so I expect points galore out of both of them, even though probably the Chargers have a little bit better situation, injury, age, hurting the Chiefs, and the Chargers have when healthy, their skill position guys are a little bit better.
Yeah, Chargers got to get those tackles healthy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big deal for them.
Those two All-Pro tackles. I don't know who is left standing, and nobody wants him back faster than Justin Herbert because he looked like. He looked like a mash unit in that last
It's like
game.
Dustin Herbert instead of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he looked like his brother.
Right.
Playing tight end.
Another potential reunion, Jay. Brian Dable is still in the running for Buffalo head coach. If he doesn't get that, he appears to be the front runner for the Tennessee offensive coordinator job, working alongside a guy getting his second crack in Robert Saleh.
Yeah. I mean, Dable's a good play caller. He's had him and Greg Roman have really, I think Greg Roman kind of started the turnaround for Josh Allen. I think Dable took it to a whole nother level. I think people in the organization are familiar with him. I think they like him. I think he left on good terms. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo hired him just because of the press conference with the owner and the GM. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely cringeworthy and eerie. Probably make me contemplate even more if I go back to alumni weekend. But so he's got two really good options. I mean, you could either work with Josh Allen, which seems like one of the easiest things to do because Josh Allen likes him. Or you get to go down with the second-year quarterback and a dynamic talent in Cam Ward and a head coach in Robert Saleh that's going to let you do your thing. I mean, you're leaving the pressure cooker in New York, right? You didn't really have the support, and obviously you started to kind of wear thin out there, and they want a new change. And you got two really good landing spots, and you don't have to go to Cleveland.
You don't have to go to
You
Cleveland.
don't
How
have
about
to go to
that?
Cleveland.
What would that mean for Joe Brady if it's Brian Dable as head coach in Buffalo?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, look, Joe Brady's been up for
Every
name
job.
mentioned, even the LSU job,
Yeah.
Penn State job, yeah, multiple NFL jobs. I mean, he'll land on his feet. I'm sure he interviewed for it and wants the job.
But they worked together, wasn't he the quarterbacks guy when Dable was the OC?
Yeah.
Would you keep him around for that continuity, or would you go a different direction?
That's just kind of one of the. Well, it's not. I would if I was Dable.
Okay.
Right. Now, whether they do it and the egos clash and all that, it's all kind of everybody gets finicky and stuff like that. But, the biggest thing for whoever becomes the head coach is whoever's going to be the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Because the offense will handle business.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you need leadership in the head coach. And now, so you got to, whoever is going to come in, that power structure at Buffalo is obviously a lot different than what it looked like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Or actually 6 weeks ago when the powers that be met with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and even if the power structure is the same, the perception of how things go down.
The coaches are thick as thieves. They're gonna go to bat for each other. They're gonna tell you the truth, and then obviously the upper management is as well. So, I think Brian Dable is a more than qualified coach. When he came in there the first year with Daniel Jones and Saquon, he took them to the playoffs. I think it maybe the second year. Whatever it was, won a road game. I mean, so he's more than a capable coach. I think Buffalo, this is probably you're going to see, if he goes to Buffalo and is a head coach, it's a better first-year roster than he's ever had. And it's probably a better roster than he's had in quite some time. You got legitimate tackles. You got a legitimate offensive line. You got a legitimate, almost apples to apples running back. You got a quarterback. I mean, he's better than Daniel Jones ever was and ever will be. And so he's probably chomping at the bit to get back up there and get some of those Buffalo wings at the Anchor Bar.
Two other coordinator hires. The Tampa Bay Bucks hires Zach Robinson, who let go by Atlanta. Baker Mayfield pushed for Zach Robinson. And Dallas hires Christian Parker away from Philadelphia, was the secondary and pass game coordinator.
Yeah, Zach Robinson is a name that's been around, and well-respected. And Baker's a franchise quarterback, and that he has input and he's familiar with him. They got a lot of pieces down there, so that's a easy pick. Especially with Stefanski coming in, he's going to call the plays and all that. As long as you don't forget to call the plays on the wristband.
Did you see the Baker and Kevin Stefanski thing on social media over the last week?
You know what? I don't think ever in the Midwest anybody really tunes in to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons.
My father-in-law, he's a Bucs guy.
Is he?
Bucs guy. So I count on one finger.
You got one. You get two hands. You ain't getting that many.
No.
I think I'm gonna be tuned into it, and that's real now. That's not fake. That's personal, and it happens. I mean, I'm telling you, when there's the situation. I've always said the situation that happened with Baker in Cleveland. It almost ruined his career. That's why it's so personal.
Yeah.
Because he did what you would want your quarterback to do. How many quarterbacks that we've always talked about that say, "Oh man, tough leadership, play when you're banged up." He's out there with a torn labrum, and then you say, "Well, your arm ain't."
He's out with a torn labrum. My quarterback's tapping out.
or not, or
my ex-quarterback,
or your one quarterback, Anthony Richardson, was a little out of shape, throwing up. He's like, "Hey, I've never seen a quarterback." Yeah, you're right. Well, Donovan McNabb. So, I can't wait to see it. It's only going to get more intense, and Tampa's going to be motivated this year, so it's going to be on.
The other coordinator move, then Christian Parker gets an upgrade. He goes from Philly to Dallas. Has worked under Vic Fangio. Followed him to from Denver to Philly as well. Cooper DeJean and others were pretty ecstatic about the work that Coach Parker did with them. It's been a really good secondary for Philly, and now Parker gets his shots as Dallas's DC.
Yeah, and he majors in defensive backs, and that's what Dallas needs. They have talent. They got Bland and those guys, and so they're going to have to play well. They're going to play well under him. Vic Fangio probably has taught him, I know from experience, the multiple options, what they do with the basic coverages and complex coverages. And you know what? Philly has had a pretty good defense over the last few years. So you think that your promotion from within is good. And that's where the respect and what the growth that he's helped players on that roster, get to. When you have Cooper DeJean coming in, making plays as a rookie, you had what's his name? The 20 Mitchell, the corner. You had different guys do well under his tutelage, and obviously Vic Fangio. So I think he's more than qualified to do well in Dallas. That's probably why Brian Flores went back to Minnesota because of Jerry Jones, and I think this fits good with Schottenheimer, considering that he's a younger guy. They hired him, and then they know more about him because he's in the division. So I think it'll do well. It'll be interesting to see how it all comes together for Dallas because they played better down the stretch. Defense needed a little bit of uptick. What does he do? What does he bring from Philly that mixed with Dallas to probably try to get them over the hump? It's going to be interesting.
If this was college football, Brian Flores and his contract extension wouldn't mean anything. He could still be up for the Steelers and the Ravens jobs, but this is the NFL we're talking about. The other news, Jay, how about Jeff Hafley? Not long ago, that man was the head coach at Boston College.
And left it like a ghost in the night.
Yeah. And now he's the head coach at the Boston College of the NFL down in Miami.
Congratulations to Jeff Hafley's agent and advisors and mentors. He's one of the guys that got really good advice. And it worked out for him. He went to Green Bay to be a defensive coordinator, left Boston College. Well respected, though, in the NFL ranks. Now he's the head coach. Obviously, the assistant GM from Green Bay went down there, so it's a good match. Be interested to see what he does with Tua. I mean, he's you got some good pieces down there, but you got a quarterback that's in flux that's got a huge contract. You got Tyreek Hill. That's
first-time head coach.
First-time head coach. And Tyreek Hill's looking at Kansas City and Eric Bieniemy like, you know what? I could probably go. I mean, he kind of subtweeted it or whatever. So
if you're the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill reunion or A.J. Brown?
Oh, you gotta go A.J. Brown.
I tend to
but if you bring in A.J. Brown, you're gonna have to get rid of either Hollywood or Worthy. Probably Hollywood, right? Because he's older.
But it might take Worthy to get him.
That's fine. And also, I think Philly would have the two skinniest receivers in the league. But I think you could get Tyreek Hill on a little bit of a discount right now.
Sure.
So, I mean, everybody's like, oh, you don't want to run it back with, older players. With Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, they're so productive. They'll be so productive.
Might even be enough to keep Travis Kelce out of retirement for one last gasp.
If there's anybody that could get him out or get him to come back and push him
legitimately
and get the most out of him, is Eric Bieniemy. Yeah.
Lots to monitor. 007, you got a comment on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. We'll get to that to wrap up hour one.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker Nation, the countdown is on for the biggest women's basketball event of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear, with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PACPBA.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals, from quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. We're wrapping up hour one here of Old School. Jay, just a brief update on the Millard South saga. Antavius Ellis in as well. And your boy, our boy, friend of the program, Greg Smith, says there could be more coming down the pipe for Millard South. More importantly, though, Jay, okay, maybe not more importantly, but also importantly, 007. Jay, I just bought a tomahawk steak. What's the way you would cook it?
Well, I mean, I like it on medium. How you cook it? I mean, you got to put it on the grill, obviously, right?
But what's your process here if you're going tomahawk?
I do use a little Worcestershire sauce and tomahawk. I think I just do salt and pepper. You don't got to season it too much.
Nah.
I mean, you can get that like Irish butter at the end.
Ooh, okay.
And kind of, you cook it. Like, was it 3 or 4 minutes on each side?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you got the thermometer and check it. I like to sometimes, I'll slit it like 3
mm-hmm.
so I can kind of see and do the eye test. And then when I do the butter, it gets in there.
Oh, yeah.
So
People, you're listening to a professional right now. Yeah. I don't care what Chuck Foreman says. You're a grill master, Jay.
Yeah, and so that depends on what type of grill you're on. Now, if you got it on a gas grill or really charcoal, you got to take the aluminum foil on the end.
Oh, always.
On the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, man, always look. It's high maintenance, but it's worth it with Tomahawk though.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it ain't nothing like it. Makes you think you're like Fred Flintstone or something.
Oh man, full caveman style.
Yep.
I'm about it.
Oh, make me want to go get one right now.
We're still friends with the Mercado, even though Graham Tire is the sponsor of Old School right now. Best tomahawk chop in sports: Chiefs, Braves, Florida State.
Florida State. Ain't nothing like it. No blooded. I played with enough of them. That's all they would be in the locker room playing that. Yeah. And with the dude come out when he puts the thing in the ground.
The spear.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
I feel like that's one of those bucket list things. Like if you're a college football fan, you got to see.
Yeah, live. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they've always said. You got to see it live.
I'd rather see that than like USC's guy like sticking the sword in midfield or whatever.
That's
what I would really like to see is Baker Mayfield planting the flag live. Can he plant a Bucks flag at the?
That would be funny.
The Falcons
Atlanta
logo
Falcons.
there.
And then look at Stefanski. I guarantee you, Baker Mayfield.
Look me dead in my eye.
Baker Mayfield get hit on the sideline. He giving him the business.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah.
Baker will get hit just to give Kevin Stefanski the business.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
College sports is still getting the business, Jay. The NCAA is getting the business from lawyers. We got another couple sagas. One at Alabama and one between Duke and Miami.
Oh, Mississippi, right? Was it Trinidad?
Chambliss is still up in the air, too. There's a lot going on in college sports. That's how we're working.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket. And top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2/2/26.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with a bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Well, we left the open. Uncle Kev left us hanging. No, I'm kidding. Uncle Kev's on vacation. He warned us as much. Shout out Kevin Meyer, Meyer's Cork and Bottle. Normally, here Thursdays at 4 o'clock, we have Thirsty Thursday with Uncle Kev. He should be back next week, barring any travel delays. Check out the shop there on 13th and South here in Lincoln. Welcome in Hour 2 of Old School, brought to you, as always, by the good folks at Graham Tire. I'm Austin. He is Jay. And Jay, I'm starting to need a drink from Meyer's Cork and Bottle with everything going on in college basketball. About a month ago, we talked about James Nagy, the guy that got drafted 31st overall, never signed a professional contract in the NBA, went and played overseas, and is now enrolled in playing for the Baylor Bears. Well, we've been one-upped. Within a month, we have been one-upped in college sports as Alabama is practicing with and plans to play Charles Bediako.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to rip straight from Sam Vecini's write-up at The Athletic. I think it's pretty good. He says, to recap for those not deep in the weeds here, Bediako is a 7-foot center who played for Alabama for 2 seasons from 21 to 23. A member of the recruiting class of 21, that'll be key later. He helped lead the Crimson Tide to a top 3 defense nationally in 22-23 before he declared for the draft. So, okay, recruiting class of 2021, played 2 full seasons at Alabama, was a decent enough college player helping anchor that defense. Okay, didn't end up getting drafted. Vecini put him at 71st on the 2023 NBA draft guide. This is a guy that then went pro, has signed and played in the G League. In fact, played in a G League game on Saturday, and then said, you know what? This isn't going the way I want it to. I still have some college eligibility left. You know, he only played 2 years, but if you look at the 5 to play 5, kind of thing that the NCAA teams have been granted, he is in the final semester of his eligibility clock. If you go by 5 to play 5, the 5-year eligibility window. So Alabama says, yeah, come on back, Chuck. We'll take you. They go to a judge in Tuscaloosa that grants this temporary restraining order on the NCAA's, prohibition of bringing Bediako back. And so Charles Bediako has been practicing with Alabama, and they plan to play him on Saturday against Tennessee.
Man, what's the judges around here? I got something left. And the way they paying NIL money, I need to get there.
Like you said, 2 plays, first and last.
I'll give you more than that if you're going to start paying it, bro. I'll get in there. I think I
First
might have
and last
some, yeah.
of each half.
Yeah, I got some. But, yeah, I mean, look, this whole eligibility thing in every sport, and obviously in particular football and basketball, is just craziness. I think it hurts the game. I think, was it Texas Tech? I saw they got a young lady that's 7'1" that played professionally over like Africa somewhere or something.
Or see the Chinese one?
No.
Because there's some 7-foot Chinese girl wrecking shop in college hoops.
Yeah, no, this is just, it happened like during like Thanksgiving, Christmas. And, you just never know, man. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. The way it's gone. It's like they didn't think about anything. And then once you make one rule, then it has to apply to everybody. And then you kind of get to go back in time, and you get people that played, been in the draft, got drafted, didn't play. It's all these like little technicalities. It seems as, it's hurting the present day game. And every coach and every administrator in the NCAA, says they care about the purity of the game and the kids. And, you want to, we want your high school kids to come to our camp and do all this AU circuit stuff. Well, that's who it's affecting. It's affecting, a sixth grader right now. Because by the time he becomes a senior in high school, and he's a pretty good player, normally would probably go, say he's good enough to go to mid-major. He ain't going there.
No.
And he might not even go Division II because it's a trickle-down effect. So now he's at Division III NAIA, and now he's scrambling around to pay for school, and he's good enough to play for it or to pay for it. And
an uphill climb to get back up there because you're not going to take a chance on many of those guys.
Every year.
Every year.
And if you don't have the height, really to really stick out, 3-point shooting is just the norm right now. Thanks, Steph Curry. So, I think they, the NCAA, I don't know what they're doing in any form or fashion.
The NCAA is trying to draw the hard line at, if you signed a professional contract, you can't come back and play.
Okay, so
that's what they're attempting to do. But the Najee thing was, he didn't sign one in the States. He was drafted, but didn't make the roster. He never actually signed a deal with them. So he went overseas. And Jay, we've seen an absolute influx of overseas talent. I mean, look at Illinois in the Big Ten, the number of international guys they've signed.
Year after year, Purdue.
They
always
here
get
and
the
there.
tallest guy in the Big Ten.
Gonzaga has done a lot of this as well. So the NCAA is trying to draw that line of, if you have professional experience, you can't play. But here's what I want to go back to, and I think it goes back to your trickle-down effect and kind of ties some of this in. So Vicini continues by writing, but Bediako was never considered a very interesting professional project. At no point did I or anyone else with legitimate insight into the NBA draft process think he would be selected. Bediako, who averaged 6 and 5 in his Alabama career, chose not to use his 2 remaining collegiate years to improve his draft standing, unlike one of his contemporaries, former Creighton center Ryan Kalkbrenner, who was the 34th pick in last summer's draft and is in the Charlotte Hornets rotation. Bediako made a poor choice in 23, whether that was of his own volition or based on bad advice. But because he's still within his 5-year eligibility clock window, one area that the NCAA has consistently won in court, he technically still has a semester of eligibility remaining. That's what makes his situation drastically different than the G League or overseas pro players who have recently been granted eligibility, such as James Najee or London Johnson. Neither of them previously played college basketball. Bediako is now crawling back to campus because his professional career hasn't gone the way he'd hoped, as he averaged 5 points per game in the G League this season. That's the thing that I keep wanting to harp on, is choices have consequences. You make up your mind. You should do it under the best advice you can possibly do. But once you make a decision, you don't have a time turner. You can't go back, Marty McFly style in your DeLorean and say, let me rewrite this and try. That's not how it works. You had the choice to stay or go. You chose to go. Decisions have consequences. Don't ruin it for everyone else because you made the bad choice. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry maybe you didn't have the best advice, or I'm sorry it didn't work out. But guess what? Them's the breaks. Move on. Figure out the next best thing. Don't go take an opportunity away from someone else. And same thing with NIL, right? If you can get the bag, go get it. Like, who am I to blame if you can get away with it? But man, I hate that they can get away with it because it seems like they get a mulligan. I just don't think that's a fair mulligan to be giving guys.
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, heck, just think if you could go, and I'm just thinking this in my situation, you go to Buffalo and, you play a year, then I can go back into the draft or go back and play one more year at Nebraska. and there's like only 5 linebackers. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
It's not apples to apples, but it's like.
But even in the basketball analogy, underclassmen are now allowed to enter their name in the combine. They can go through the combine. They can do it, get their information as long as they don't sign with an agent.
Bryce did that.
Bryce,
right?
I think Jawan. I mean, all sorts of guys. High profile, medium profile, low profile. That's where you go to get information to bring back to your coaches. Here's what they need me to work on. That was a great change. As long as you didn't sign with an agent, you could come back. That was a great step. That should be enough. But if you go to the combine, you misread the signs from a team, or you misread the information, you don't listen, and you go, sorry, you had the information presented to you. You made the wrong choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 100%, agreeing with you, and it's ruining the game. I mean, that's how you're going to have 25, 26 years old, seniors playing against, 18, 19-year-old kids, and it's definitely a competitive advantage. But then it's also, just a clear, example of taking advantage of the rules. And the NCAA needs to step up and think about every single scenario. The NCAA
and the NBA needs to help.
Yes, and all the major sports leagues need to help. Every single one, both here and overseas or wherever you at.
Yeah,
and NCAA in particular, and the powers that be in the governor body has been missing in action for about 5 years.
Yeah,
ever since they lost the whole NIL thing. I remember seeing Thomas Fidoni's tweet. Yeah, Thomas Fidoni, open to anything. It's July 1st. Remember?
Yep.
They have been non-existent.
No,
and they've been reacting to everything, and it's like 2 or 3 moves late, and that's because they had ultimate power, and they were able just to kind of say whatever, they make a ruling and just shut the door. Well, now you got to play big boy ball, and you got to do it for not only your sake as the NCAA, because what will happen is the good teams will branch off like football and start their own league, and you guys will be obsolete, and there won't be any more March Madness. There won't be any more college football playoffs as we see it right now. It'll be super leagues and all that other stuff. And you have a great opportunity to help all college sports hit a reset. So while you guys are, coming off a Christmas break, right? Paid probably by all our student athletes in our universities, right?
Right.
Or you're getting residual incomes for all the money that you stole from years prior. Why don't you guys get together and just go sport by sport, or the big ones first, and make some rules and get the professional leagues on board with it, because it'll help both.
Yes.
Right? Both leagues. It's just crazy that, I mean, I guess if these guys don't have anywhere to go, these agents are always going to do it, because I'm sure he's coming back for a semester getting some sort of check. So an agent is going to get paid, and I'm sure he has a, NIL agent or agent that's representing him. So you can't fault them for exhausting all options. You really can't even fault the kid, because he's taking advantage. If you're stupid enough to give him the money and the opportunity, why not?
You left the kid alone in the room with the bowl of marshmallows. Told him not to eat them.
Yeah, don't even be mad if he went and got cookies and ice cream with it, man, because that sugar high is a mug. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, at what point in time are they going to be like, okay, this is enough. This is the worst it can be. It seems like they're just continuing to smear doo-doo on their face. You know what I'm saying?
There's a hypothetical where it could get worse, Jay, and you alluded to it. What if you entered your name in the draft and then, came back to college? Well, Vicini lays that out in his article with an example from Bediako's draft class in 2023. The issue that both the NBA and college basketball sources are watching most closely is the early entry deadline question. Can a player keep his name in the draft past the early entry deadline and still maintain his eligibility? If Bediako is allowed to play, essentially it could potentially create a world of free agents within college basketball who could sign anywhere, including the NBA, at any given time. If the collegiate early entry date means nothing, a significant portion of players in the country should declare for the draft after their freshman year. Why? Because if they went undrafted, it would be advantageous if they broke out later in their college career. He chooses Brandon Podziemski of the Golden State Warriors for this example. Okay? Podziemski, Wisconsin Mr. Basketball in high school, only averages 1.5 points per game in 21-22 for Illinois, in and out of the rotation. Okay. He wouldn't have been drafted, wasn't going to be drafted that year. He transfers to Santa Clara, where instead of averaging 1.5 points, he averages 29 and 4.
Yeah, I remember this.
Okay. So Vicini says, imagine a world in which Podziemski had declared and gone undrafted after his freshman year when he averaged 1.4 points per game, thus becoming an NBA free agent in the midst of that sophomore year breakout. On January 28th of 23, Santa Clara was 16-7 with home losses to San Jose State and Pacific, two teams ranked at the time outside the Kent Bomb 100. The Broncos had no chance to make the NCAA tournament unless they won the WCC tournament, likely having to beat St. Mary's and Gonzaga along the way. At that point, Podziemski would have had myriad offers from NBA teams. He was already seen by many as a potential first-round pick by the time February rolled around. Given that he was playing at Santa Clara, he wouldn't have been making enough money via NIL rights to stop him from leaving his team midseason for an NBA minimum contract, if not more. In this example, it would have been irresponsible for Pods not to leave Santa Clara midseason and sign with an NBA team, thus totally cratering the Broncos season.
Yeah, that's a great example. And there's many, many more too. And the young man that got drafted down to Orlando that was from the University of Ohio is another example too, right?
Yeah.
He kind of walked, he walked on, didn't play to his sophomore, junior year. Then eventually he was obviously a first round pick. But just imagine that.
Yeah.
While he's balling at University of Ohio, having a great year because I think they went.
Yeah, Jason Preston. They win a game in the tournament.
Yeah,
beat Virginia.
They went to the tournament, and then that brings up your bargaining power. Say Philadelphia 76ers need him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you're like the young man or Pods out there at Santa Clara, you're not going to the tournament, then your price is this. Well, I'm going to the tournament. In order for me to leave, I need twice that. It's crazy. I mean, like I said, they need to do something now instead of sitting up here and be like, oh, well, we're trying. Well, do something. You had no problem for 50 years taking advantage of college athletes in the college sports right now. Now you should know the lay of the law. You should know every situation and every option that somebody could have to potentially, make your college sports in general look horrible. It'd be a start, and then you could move over to NIL and the transfer portal and all that stuff. Then actually you would get back in line. But to sit back on the sidelines and not even point the finger, just kind of go over and watch the damage that you kind of caused, and then go back to your nice comfy couch is probably one of the most disrespectful things you can think about when it comes to college sports and where college, football, basketball, both men and women is gone.
A couple questions then that Vicini poses, and I think to our point, your point specifically about the leagues needing to work together. Does the NCAA really want its top players leaving in the middle of the season to go pro? And does the NBA want college basketball players to be able to sign with whatever team they want in season?
No and no.
No and no. Next question. You might wonder whether this type of scenario would occur frequently enough to count as a problem. After all, for years, international prospects who've gone undrafted have had the freedom to sign wherever they wanted after the fact. Vicini says he doesn't think that applies, as any NBA exec will tell you. Euro prospects are out of sight, out of mind, unless they're draft eligible. And then he points out the Randolph Morris situation, Jay, back in 2005. He declares for the draft, but without an agent, kind of representing himself sort of thing. The NCAA ruled that because he didn't sign with a deal because he went undrafted and he didn't hire an agent, he could suit up for Kentucky again after sitting out the first half of 2005-2006, becomes all SEC as a junior, and then signs with the Knicks in 2007. But here's the difference. Pretty much every player at that level, the Kentucky level, has an agent now. Times have changed drastically in that way.
Yeah. Every high school kid that's worth a plum nickel or has a chance to go to a college, Power 4 NIL options has an agent. So
yeah,
you can say, oh, he only does my marketing, but he's obviously taking that 20-25% off of your NIL deal and obviously, negotiating for you. So actually he is your agent. He is your street agent. He is your contract agent. I mean, it's just more of the same. I mean, there's going to be plenty of examples. I mean, you're going to see it in football as well. The only difference is that in football, whereas I was reading this article about it, a linebacker from Texas was a 5-star recruit, went to Texas this year. He redshirted, so that means he played 4 games or less. He goes in the portal, and he gets picked up and get an NIL deal. So essentially, it's the same thing, but you just stayed down in Texas for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, the portal is the portal. You can go in every single year as we've seen it. But, you're there for a little while, then you're transferring. And obviously, this is different because, young man Morris, declared for the draft, didn't sign with the agent, which is another technicality, which you should have had that out there. That would have really eliminated a lot of guys actually going in the draft and being out there in the abyss for 2 years. So you really could have eliminated this present day problem by remedying the past problem, which they haven't done. So now this present day problem is going to be a past problem. So
it becomes a present problem and a future problem, and then goes back to a past problem.
Another future problem will be something, and then that'll be the past problem. So it's just a vicious cycle, and they're just not doing anything. It's not like they can't get together, with some judges and try to figure out how to not have them manipulate or be in your back pocket, but understand what you're trying to do, with Adam Silver or whoever you need to be, because it's the betterment for, in this case, for basketball in general. Basketball from top to bottom is suffering. Yeah. So it's going all the way down to the Pee Wee leagues. Because if you think it's just stopping in high school, it's coming all the way down. And then eventually, because everybody's wondering who's the next great American star. I mean, we have Cooper Flag, but where's the next guys, right? Or let's again. That's why you don't have any. Nobody knows. They're off in the abyss right now.
Yeah.
And really, it's just because they're just, just hanging out in college, not getting really any better. Europeans are coming over, just taking over, and you wonder why you don't have anything. It's about these decisions right here that's affecting the big leagues, and then obviously down to the minor leagues.
More from Vicini. Another idea that has been pitched to me by NBA team sources is the idea of colleges being used as farm systems. For example, could the Lakers draft players in the transfer portal and ship them to USC or UCLA to closely follow their development without having to actually pay them? It would obviously require alignment across the university, NBA team, and with player agencies, but that could be the next logical step here, with colleges being more at the whim of NBA developmental practices. Again, it seems maybe like a logical conclusion, but I hate it. I understand why that would be part of the deal, but then, Jay, I think you're starting to move more and more toward the European style model. If you have the big club, right?
The
Premier League, Bundesliga,
you already got
La
the
Liga, whatever. And then, but the point of that is it's all regional, right? Whatever city you're in, the sports in Europe in a lot of cases aren't run through the high schools. They're run through the club system, right? And they got a bunch of youth, and like everything, filters up. But it's regional. Like, how often are you leaving, Illinois to go to Nebraska? For a purely hypothetical example, when you would just go in your Illinois feeder program all the way, and then you would feed into Illinois, right? But the reason some of that works is because there's that connection to the community.
Yeah.
You grew up dreaming to play for that club, of working your way through the ranks. Part of the beauty of the way the American system is set up, especially going from high school to college, is that you can be, from Frederick, Maryland, and move to Minnesota and then come down to Nebraska.
Yeah.
You can be a kid from, California and go play quarterback for Ohio State. You can be born in Florida and go star at Texas. You can move across the country based on wherever you think the fit is best for you. And there's beauty in that, being able to find, the best fit, not being locked into your geographical area. There's beauty in being able to move across the country and find that best situation. But there's also some beauty in doing it the old-fashioned way, if you will, right? Of having that pride for your hometown, your region, of being able to put that region on your back and wear it across your chest and say, hey, this is who I am. This is where I'm from. It means the world to me to wear the same colors as an 18-year-old that I wore when I was an 18-month-old.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely different. And the one thing that's also on top of that, Austin, is that, when you're in the minor league system in Europe, and you're a prospect, you're getting paid. You're getting paid maybe little because they're paying for your housing and all that other stuff, but they are paying you something, right? You see it also in F1 where you have them in tier leagues, where you just said that in NBA teams will draft them and like house them at colleges and they don't have to pay them. Well, then now you just defeated the purpose.
Right.
Then let's just go back to my previous point. You're ruining the game essentially
for everyone.
For everyone. Again, all the way down to fourth grade or whatever, when they start playing basketball, you're ruining the game. And then on the top end, where the next American starts, there's nowhere to be found because you're not developing anybody. And so really again, keep saying it. I doubt they're listening, obviously, but not yet.
Keep beating the drum.
But you have to stop the nonsense. You have to stop the nonsense. And I also, obviously take the money aside. I mean, obviously, whether it's Trey Taylor or anybody, if they're paying, definitely accept it, because Trey Taylor's 16, 17 years old. There's not many 16, 17-year-old kids making $300,000 or $400,000 to go for 4 months of high school.
Right.
$100,000 a month.
Right.
You got to go do it. But, at the end of the day, you just wonder when everybody will get together and read the group text. All right, we got to actually do some work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going home until so. It's almost like being on jury duty.
Right.
Until we
You're sequestered.
Yeah. I don't need you to keep meeting via Zoom.
Right.
Meet, get stuff done, protect the game, protect the kids, protect the NBA. It'll probably make the NBA, hopefully, product a little bit better. Guys coming out more ready, and really have a chance to really do a look-see into the state of American basketball.
Yeah,
and stop embarrassing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, and football is there as well. Yeah, it's an arms race, and there's not endless amount of money. A lot of these guys are just throwing away money to unfinished products in college, and
hoping it works.
Then you got guys that are leaving professional. Or tried to be professional and coming back and taking advantage of it. So all you're doing is taking advantage of the game.
Yeah.
But you're here for the student athletes.
Or so you say.
So you say.
9174, thoughts on Calipari's comments on not wanting to invest in high school development since colleges can bring in semi-pro type players that are already developed. I haven't had a chance to listen to everything Coach Cal said. I mean, I know we brought up collective bargaining as well. But, Jay, we've seen this and we've had this discussion. Why recruit 18-year-olds when you can recruit 22, 23-year-olds? The same thing applies
at any level. I mean, I tell a story. There's a kid that I coached this summer. He a full-fledged crash out, but the kids that were at the scores table, one kid was 24 years old, the other kid was 22, junior and sophomore in college. Junior and sophomore in college.
When a senior used to be 22.
Right.
Never once in there did you say the word senior.
Right. Junior and sophomore in college. Coming back, making some extra change. Now, they weren't at Nebraska or anything, but they were at, I don't know, I think we were playing down in Kansas City. So they had to be within,
driving distance. Yeah.
From there. So it must have been a D2 or something. Even if it was an NAI or Division III, just imagine you graduate from East High School and you're an 18-year-old kid going somewhere like Missouri Western or something, and you walk in there and you're the only 18-year-old, everybody else is 21 and above.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were like, oh, well, you're not ready to play. Well, I didn't know I was going to play in LA Fitness men's league as a sixth grader. You know what I mean? So,
right.
It happened. I mean, it's crazy, and I'm not surprised by anything. Every time you see it, pop up, there goes another dumb story. I'm just waiting for somebody to actually be a professional and it's like, yeah, I want to go back and, finish out one more semester in college, because that's when I will go back one more year and finish at Nebraska.
16-11, when does this insanity end? When, like Jay said, people care enough to end it. Eric says, we don't need Jay out there pulling the muscle on the first play. Bill and Bennett, hell yeah, give Jay another year. I bet he could still be a menace to QBs.
I'll be a menace to somebody. I'll be a menace to either the running backs, QBs, or more importantly, myself. The one thing I'm going to do is talk some smack.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And
shoot, even if you pull that hammy, that's not coming out of your pocket. You're back on university insurance, so you get pocket the rest and medical bills on their time.
Yeah, I'll take a year off. I'll be back. I can get enough plays in. So that I'll be,
maintain my eligibility, medical red shirt.
Tom Brady wanted to play till he's 50. I'll be 50-something out there playing college football.
Well, you got 5 years till you're 50-something,
yeah,
right?
So. Yeah, I wish, right? I got about 5 days.
Well, who's counting? Here's the thing, though. This isn't the end of the insanity in college sports. Your bloodlines are causing problems, Jay.
All right, who's that?
Miami.
I like it.
Your history is causing problems.
And I see you got your Duke shirt on, too.
I wore it on purpose. We're talking Darian Mensah, Duke, and Miami next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket and top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you here, brought to you by Graham Tire. Appreciate the good people down there. They've been serving the Midwest for 75 years. They're more than just tires. They do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most? Well, Jay, with the rubber meeting the road in college athletics, especially now in college football, where we turn our attention, Miami and Duke, ACC rivals, bitter rivals, a lot of history between those two, or I guess not really necessarily. Either way, they're certainly rivals right now for the services of one Darian Mensah. One-time Tulane transfer, balled out for Duke, and Miami looking for quarterback help with Carson Beck out of eligibility until he's granted an 18th year in college. We'll see if that ends up happening anytime soon or not. Either way, it's been another saga, right? There were rumblings that this was going to happen after Mensah signed his NIL deal to return to Duke. And a brief kind of timeline of the event, right? This has been simmering for about a week now. Mensah in the second year of a 2-year deal at Duke with about $4 million annually. He says, nope, entering the transfer portal. Duke seems to know that it's Miami that he would want to go to. And so what do? They end up suing him.
Yeah.
They sue Mensah to try to get him to stay. And essentially, at least for now, Duke has won, such as it is. They were granted the temporary restraining order. The wording of it is, for the duration of this order, defendant Mensah and his agents, employees, attorneys, and all persons acting in concert or participation with him, with his knowledge or under his actual or apparent authority, blah, 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 they are enjoined from, they are barred from, number 1, enrolling at another collegiate institution, 2, playing football at another collegiate institution, 3, licensing his NIL to another college institution, 4, taking any other action that would interfere with, diminish, or impair Duke University's exclusive rights under the contract, and 5, otherwise committing any further breaches of the contract. So there's that for now. Duke has temporarily won. As of now, Miami is kind of up the creek without a paddle, since they won't be able to just easily pry Mensah away. But of course, it's never that simple. There are always all sorts of options of recourse here for Miami. And there's a guy following Twitter, David McKenzie, who does intellectual property law, is tweeting about. He thinks he has 5 options down for Duke and Darian Mensah. Number 1, Mensah returns to Duke. He says should be off the table. That'd make Duke look soft if there are no consequences, essentially. His second option, Mensah could declare for the NFL draft. Okay, could do that. Number 3, sit out the 2026 season. Number 4, transfer without NIL, which he could, like, you can't stop a guy from going to school, and then, you have to walk on, potentially earn his way onto the team. Could you do that without, saying it was collusion? Well, he was always going to get a spot once he transferred there. It was insinuated, yada, yada, what be it. And then option 5, the Premier League option that you throw out, negotiate a buyout. Yeah. How much would Miami have to pay Duke to get out of that contract? But I go back to kind of the same thing we saw with like a Sam Levitt is, okay, it's great that they have the money, but what they want is the quarterback and not the money.
Yeah. It's a tough situation. You just all, you wonder, was Miami unprepared? I mean, there's no secret that Carson Beck is a senior. He has no more eligibility left.
Yeah.
Who declared in the transfer portal early. You had, I just go right to Dylan. Right. Why wouldn't you kick the tires on him? I don't know if he went on a visit and nobody knew. But there's, just because you're playing for a national championship or at this time college football playoffs, games in those high profile bowl games, business has to be had for next year. And, you could lose the game and you'd be in the same situation.
Right.
And then you try to go and get Mensah after the Damon Williams, situation, which he lost or had a change of heart.
It was very convenient for him to change his mind after he figured out he was going to lose.
Hopefully he's working his way back in good graces of his teammates. And you can't fault Mensah if you're able to, with the contract that I saw that they were willing to pay $10 million, $4 million to get him out, pay him $6 million. So essentially you're getting a 50% pay raise.
Yeah, it's a buyout the Duke contract and terminate it, pay around $10 million total to make it happen.
Right.
Probably a deal with Adidas. And supposedly his sister would be joining him at Miami as well. She's currently a soccer player at Oregon. It's kind of the rumors I saw.
So it's a big deal, and that's what you should do if you're these young kids. You're able to look. You got family or siblings or something like that and need to be taken care of. Put that in there as well. I just think it's a crappy situation because I think Duke, didn't say took a chance on Mensah, but obviously he went there for a reason. He's very well compensated. But if he doesn't want to be there and has another opportunity, just like I was saying, you just want to make sure that Duke is left whole. And it's good for them to sue him just so that they're just not a pushover, just wondering if there's going to be any back channel negotiations or some sort of compromise before it gets to the courts. And because Miami has to move on and there's nobody else that you can really go get that's even at his skill level or the skill level that you need to continue along being thought of in the college football playoff race. So the pressure is solely on Miami now. You know what I mean? Because Duke, if they win it, they get the quarterback back. You get and the receiver. If Miami doesn't win, you're stuck on top of Malachi Toney potentially going in the portal. So,
well, hey, guess what? The pressure then is on Miami to, I don't know, recruit and develop a quarterback. Guess what we did for 100 years of college football is we recruited and developed quarterbacks.
And
if you were good at it, you won. If you weren't, you lost.
And you should have been able to do that considering you obviously have the money NIL-wise if you're going to drop $10 million.
Right.
You just got a whole bunch of money. And you made a lot of money even last year with Cam Ward with the success they had, even though they barely missed the playoffs. So you got to think who was on their roster that could probably take over. Now, obviously, you always want to probably go to the portal because you got more known products or production. But right now, it's a big, huge risk for Miami to be where they're at. That's why I keep going back to Dylan. Now, I don't know any of the options that Dylan had. I just know that he was out there as one of the last big-name quarterbacks to get signed. And, when you look at it, and I don't know what they were looking at. I'm sure they probably feel more familiar with Mensa. You played him. You've seen him play in the ACC. He's a more than capable quarterback, has definitely potential first, second round talent. I mean, he's a real deal dude. And, obviously he's a little bit older than Dylan or whatever. But if it never crossed your mind to reach out to Dylan, well, then that's a shame on you, Miami. Because even though you call Mensa up and say, are you interested, or his agent, imagine if I'm him and you're my agent. Hey, Jay, man, Miami wants to pay you $6 million.
Shoot, I'm in.
Cool.
Don't mind if we do.
What time we leaving?
Let's break that bread, partner.
But Jay, and then you say, hey, Jay, you know what, man? I could get your sister in Oregon, man. You guys grew up together. We can get her down here too on the team. Plays, what does she play? Basketball, soccer?
Soccer.
We get her on the Miami team. 6 months in the sun, man. What do you think about that?
I think sounds pretty nice.
All right, I'm in there. Now, the agent should know the contract that he signed with Duke before you even accept the call to Miami. You should be working on the process to break that contract before he goes in the portal. You go in the portal when it's a done deal, not on a phone call or whatever.
Not on first contact.
Not on first contact, or agent says, "Oh, we'll figure it out." No, I have this figured out. I have this figured out because I'm assuming Mensa he's at Duke. He's a smart kid, and Tulane's a good academic school. So you're going to be like, "Hey, what's the deal with the contract?" And especially because homeboy up in Washington just got jammed up. Right. Okay, so you would just say, "Okay, what's the deal with the contract? Am I going to be able to get out of it?" And then you would have to say, as an agent, "I've already researched it. I've talked to however many contract lawyers. This is what we're prepared. These are the 2 or 3 ways we're going to try to attack Duke to get you out. It's pretty much go. Call your sister. This is what we got going on." Because I've done my now you're out here. You've I wouldn't say ruined your relationship with Duke. Duke looks at you like a little bit like you're selfish. They're paying you $4 million, and you are at Duke, so that does mean something. And now Miami, doesn't have anybody, and that's why I keep going back to Dylan. I mean, it's great that you're going to Oregon, and now you're going to be backing up Dante Moore, but it'd be even better to be down in Miami and playing with that type of, if you had the option, right?
Right.
Because Miami's like, well, if I'm Mario Cristobal, right? Say I'm focused on winning a championship, and you are my recruiting, NIL, your department, right? I'm sure, and they do have departments.
Oh, yeah.
Like in their scouting department, they all they do is scour the transfer portal, who potentially could go in, making first contact even before the tampering and all that. That's your so I'm coming to you. This is it. You didn't ask me for any meetings. We didn't have any coffee before we started breaking down film for the last 3 weeks. And while we're messing, and now I don't have a quarterback. Somebody's head's got to roll if this doesn't go through.
Probably mine.
Get your job done early, man. I mean, I just, and it's a bad look because, first of all these guys are getting overpaid. But you get it. If they're dumb enough to pay you, take it. run with it. Congratulations. And I'm not hating. My broken neck and all that, hopefully, played a little part in that. But it's a bad look when you're getting paid that much money. And then it's like, I'm going to dip out for that.
Yeah.
And then now I might have to dip back to where I was. I thought you were gone. Oh man, I was just joking with you. I was just seeing how I was seeing
Gotcha.
it. I was seeing if you were going to contact me. I was going to see if we're really friends.
Right.
Now we got to work on that. That's how we can win this ACC championship again. Because me and you, we need the connection. It's tough, man. I mean, it happens all the time. It's what it's going to be. But like I said, we always talk about the players having your business done before you go in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Teams, recruiting guys or whatever, have your business done, especially with guys that are established at universities.
Mm-hmm.
Have it done. There's no more one-year contracts for these quarterbacks now because they're too good and too valuable, especially somebody like Mince.
Okay, so the realistic options here are most likely declare for the draft, because once you declare for the draft, Duke has the option to terminate the contract. Number 2, sit out 2026, take your redshirt year, and then either declare for the draft or go somewhere after that. Or 3, push for the buyout. If you're in his shoes, what are you doing?
Well, if Miami's willing to push for the buyout and he can get his sister and bring his number 1 receiver, that's it. You definitely don't want to sit out. You only, I would throw another one and go back to Duke. I'm not going into the draft unless.
But would Duke want him back? Like, there has to be some repercussions, right? You can't just welcome him back like nothing happened.
You're gonna run some gaskets. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna pay me? Well, first of all, you got to pay him the same. The contract is the contract. That's what we go into the court for.
So the guy that I started this with that tweeted this out says, option 1, return to Duke. Theoretically available, but practically dead. Duke can't afford to be seen as a paper tiger. If Mensa comes back and plays out 26 like nothing happened, every future NIL negotiation at Duke starts with the other side knowing that breach is costless.
Okay, so that's off the table. So do I declare for the draft or do I sit out? Okay. Oof. Well, okay, so Dante Moore, I mean, dude, you just cost yourself some money.
Mm-hmm. Don't mind if I help myself to that.
Well, the first thing I need to do is get me a new agent.
Right.
But if it's me, even though you might be dead, I'm trying to find a way to get back to Duke. Even if I got to take a $200,000 pay or haircut. Okay, if you talk about there's got to be some ramifications, that's it. Okay. And then so now you set the precedence at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take a haircut when you come back.
Yeah.
So because I'd rather make $3.8 million than risk it going into the draft, because I don't know where I view him up there with kind of Dante Moore, the supply and the demand. I think he could pass a Carson Beck. So I think he could work his way up to, whatever, first, second round. But I still think if he's in the second round, I think he would be that $3.8 million for that year is more than he would make.
Yeah.
And so you don't pass up guaranteed money to go make what if money.
Right.
Especially if you're not one of the top 2 guys, Mendoza and all that go in the first round.
Right. We'll wrap this up. 6090 chimed in during the previous segment. The judge who happened to be the donor to Alabama granted the temporary restraining order for Bediako to play. How about this, Jay?
He's married to somebody.
Someone. He's like an active donor to Alabama athletics.
And his wife is associated with the program, right?
In some way.
His wife. His wife. So this is straight up a favor.
On the flip side,
how
about Duke integrity? The judge in the Mensa case is a Duke basketball season ticket holder, and he recused himself.
Oh, no, I ain't trying to. I didn't try to hear that.
I just had to get on my soapbox. I had to get on my pedestal.
Why? I mean,
one last
judge,
time
man.
here.
You're the most upstanding citizen in the world. You're a judge. You're gonna make the right decision. He just didn't want to have to deal with the other judges coming down hard on him.
Right.
Man, I mean, I hate it for these. Look, listen, it's the one thing. It's a byproduct of NCAA. I know we're up against the break. You don't have any rules. You don't have any collective bargaining. You don't have real agents.
Right.
They're not doing the best for you.
Nope.
This is another example. So for every Arch Manning, which he has a legitimate agent, there's this Mensa that got something. I don't know who he is. He just messed up my man's bag, or potentially now he's sitting up there. I don't even know where he's at. Do you stay in the dorms? Or are you still in your crib?
Well, wouldn't that be a punishment? Like, hey, you had this nice house here in Raleigh-Durham, but since you're going to leave us, enjoy Abel Hall.
Is your card going still to the training table? Because I know they eat good at Duke.
I assume so. I would still let him in the training table if you expect to win games. Yeah. I mean, maybe make sure it just doesn't work.
I'd bring him back.
Don't make it work on the first beep every time. He's got to scan it twice.
I'd bring him back, though.
Who's that guy in the Jets? There's that
Jamal Adams.
Was that Jamal Adams? Yeah, that's right.
I'd bring him back.
Get him straight dirty.
Yeah, I'd bring him back. I'd try to find a way to bring him back, find him a little bit.
Yeah.
Put some incentives there. You can make it back. You better ball till you fall, buddy.
Right. Make it worth our while. Make it worth yours.
You better not mess up cover 3 because I'm going to be on you.
Cover 1, 2, 3 Cancun is what you tried to do.
Exactly.
But, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to break.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket and top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One more short segment wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Don't worry, we've got another third hour of the show yet to go. 402-464-5685 with any of your thoughts. We got one from Scott Lincoln here, Jay, just to wrap up the hour. Kind of talked through it, kind of talked around it, but Scott wants it directly. What would be the first 2 things you think need to be done in terms of importance? What takes precedence to start to fix the transfer portal from the mess it is today?
I think you need to put a time, like you got to have some sort of like, you got to be here for 2 years, be a place for 2 years, or you do it like, okay, you got 1 free transfer. And then if you do transfer, the second time, like stair step it, your second transfer, you got to sit out this many games. Now, obviously extreme circumstances, like the kid in North Carolina that they had, he had family issues, or
Tez Walker, I think.
Tez Walker, and then Justin Fields with the baseball player at Georgia and all that. I understand that. Those are unique situations. That's the first thing I would do. And then I would also put a cap on any freshmen that come in. You're capped. You're a quarterback. This is the most you can make.
NFL rookie scale stuff.
You have 2 separate like revenue sharing or salary caps first year. No incentives, no. This is what you're getting, right? And then you can have your NIL where you're out there for Hampton Inn or whatever, and that's fine, right? And so that's where you gotta, then you cap that as well, and then, that would solve a lot. A lot of it, this stuff right here is just outrageous. And then I would probably, have another cap based on your, I couldn't say your production, because your production at Fresno State versus Nebraska is totally two different leagues. But I think it would be, and I'm not trying to take any money from anybody. I think you'd have to be in your 3rd year before you hit the big contract.
3rd year to school or 3rd year in college?
3rd year in college, 3rd year out of high school.
Okay. So you can go to the G League for 2 years, come back, and then be a college freshman. Kidding.
Football doesn't have one
yet.
Yeah, they would never will. It's too much insurance.
Fair enough.
So I just think that those would be good. And and definitely have an age limit. When you're 25, 26 years old, you have no business being in college. No business being in college. Now, there'll be every exception to rules. Like if you grow up in a rural area and you don't get into a city school until you're way above the starting age, sure, that's not the case.
But we can't have parents redshirting kindergartners in Texas.
Right, or double redshirting.
Right.
Or double reclassing. And that does happen.
It does.
It does happen. And I think if you go down and pluck, the FCS, those type of schools, also with Indiana, Kirkston, I think there needs to be some sort of transfer fee back to those schools. I do. I think if you are trying to get somebody out of a contract, not only do you need to buy out that year's of contract, you need to pay a fee. I think because that will lessen the Miami situation, the LSU, Damon Williams, and stuff like that. Then on the flip side, I think you also have to have some sort of, you'd like to try to get some regulation based on, whether a coach stays or leaves and stuff too, because the coaches are very fluid, obviously we've seen. And so if you come here to say you came here to kick for Mike Eckler, he's gone, then that's a special situation because he's directly your superior or your coach. So, I mean, it's going to take some brain power. It's going to take some time.
Some patience, some grit, some elbow grease.
Yeah, right. And then you got to be able to
flexibility.
And then you got to be able to compromise and pivot. Oh man, we forgot about that. We need an emergency meeting. Not that, we forgot about that. 10 people take advantage of it. And then we just sit back and look at the carnage.
No one else will, right?
Yeah. And then you got to really, also, I think you really need to start thinking about if you want to continue along this path, of overpaying players, and I'm not hating on the players. I'm just saying if you want to just continue along the path of overpaying players and all that stuff, then you really need to start looking at super leagues for each sport.
Yeah.
Volleyball, you know who the top
25,
20 I was going to say
whatever.
28 teams.
Yeah.
Football, you know, it'd be like you could go 56 or 60, right?
Sure.
That's it. And then you regulate and deregulate, right? Because you got to think you'll be able to level up the FCSs and all those, the mid-majors, right? Up with the lower level of the Power Four and actually probably make it a more level playing field. And then they have their own salary caps and they have their own TV deals and all that. And you do it per sport. And then the ones that aren't in that kind of, you know, baseball would have theirs and basketball would have theirs, men and women and all that. If you're not in those and you're still those college sports, well, then that's where the NCAA comes in.
Yeah.
And then if you want to have separate March Madnesses and college football playoffs and stuff like that, then so be it. But at some point in time, you got to start making some decisions instead of like announcing that you guys have a meeting, then re-announce that you guys met, but nothing got figured out.
Right.
I mean, how do you
your meetings could have been emails?
How do you get down to the national championship game, knowing that you probably got the minutes or the pre-meeting minutes that you're gonna like the subjects that you're gonna go over, and then not even know whether you're gonna expand the playoffs? You expanded it from 4 to 12
very quickly.
The process is there.
Yeah.
So now so now the same guys that were probably bickering about how many teams are automatic bids are not, they're the same ones. Well, you just add one more, and then we got some more at-large bids.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Or you have somebody that's the commissioner. They make the decision.
How about that?
There you go.
6169 does throw out incentive-based NIL deals. If
you can't, because here's what coaches will do. They'll
get
pull
petty, get vindictive, get told that, hey, we don't have the money. You got to sit this
or
game.
I won't play you. Or I won't target you. The Patriots were notorious for that. You can't do that.
And sometimes you get a Tom Brady who will bring Gronk back in there to throw his touchdown, but how's that going to go over at the higher ups?
But he was at Tampa, which is more lax, and they were appreciative to have Tom Brady, and he was giving them a discount.
Yeah. So I just think that's a thorny road. The only kind of incentive I could see is kind of what you threw out there, Jay, of, okay, if you're at this school in 2 years, we'll give you a boost. If you're here in 3 years, here for 4 years, you hit the max, whatever.
And, you know, from your first year to second year, maybe there's like a built-in stay fee and all that, because the stay fee will help with the development. So then, therefore, you don't have to go chase a Mensa or whatever.
Yeah.
You're actually – and then, you know, these guys need to recruit and develop. I mean, there is pressure on the coaches to do better.
There is.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about it in the 5 o'clock hour.
How about that? It's right around the corner. Come back with us.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Just got new tires put on my car today. You did? I did see you leave the office. I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off when they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket. And top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time. And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman on this Thursday pre-freeze over here in Lincoln, Nebraska, 1040 O Street. It's supposed to be more than brisk. It's going to be, what's that, Lipton tea?
Oh, yeah.
Brisk baby. It's going to be pretty cold tomorrow and Saturday. So
it'll be downright tropical compared to where I'm at.
Not really. It's going to be minus 14 in Minnesota tomorrow, right? In wind chill of minus 33. And here it's going to be a high of minus 4, especially in the morning, and a wind chill of minus 14. Literally, you're just cold.
Just cold.
Yeah.
At what point does it just get to just cold and you stop worrying about what the actual degree measurement is?
Right. Tomorrow, it just I think anything below like
single digits,
and all that's all the same. Right. You just got to make sure that you got, toe warmers and all that, and you got to warm your car up.
Layers, no exposed skin.
Yeah. Minnesota is so cold. I was up there for the Super Bowl. I'll never forget this. Is when Patriots played Philly. And I was up there doing some, appearances or whatever. And, you have remote start on your car. It snowed. So I'm driving back to Nebraska. So I'm like, oh, man, I'll, you could extend it,
Oh, yeah.
Do it for 20 minutes. So I did it for 20 minutes. So the heat comes on, obviously, because they have sensors on it. My car was still so cold. This is after 20 minutes that my GPS was frozen and wouldn't work. So by the time I started driving and it clicked on, that's how cold it was. It's up there. And that's how cold it's going to be not only here, but up there in Minneapolis for you as Nebraska treks up there via plane to kick butt. So
what Bart Scott say? Can't wait.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know, right. This is the anniversary of that this weekend of the Bart Scott. But As we alluded to, obviously this is old school. Obviously, we brought you by Graham Tire. Appreciate their support. And they do more than just tires. They take care of your cars, all big and small needs. So make sure you go over there and check them out. I will be over there very soon. Give me 4 tires. So appreciate their support. But obviously the news of the day, as it was yesterday, the state of, I guess, Nebraska high school football is up in the air. So we appreciate I'm looking forward to your thoughts on the text line, because not only is Trey Taylor coming, his homeboy Teddy is coming and they have a podcast together. So I'm assuming they will be living together.
It'll be under the House Rules umbrella next year.
Okay. Yeah. It'll be another production or whatever it is. But these guys have made a connection. Both of them are highly rated recruits. One from Texas, one from Chicago. Taking the trek or moving up here next football season. So right after the summer, I don't know the NCAA rules if you're a high school kid that can train with college until you sign your letter of intent. So I doubt that they'll be in a Nebraska offseason program right now. But they're both transferring into Miller South where they do have a football program. Where you're going to be in the weight room, you're going to run, you're going to be, they're going to try to get you ready not only to have your best high school career or season, but they're going to get you structure wise, commitment wise, accountability wise, as close as possible to get ready to make an easier transition into college football. So that's a plus for them. I'm sure you don't become what they are not to have that where they're at. So,
right.
They're looking at it as a commitment to Nebraska that they're here. They're going to try to do the peer recruiting and stuff like that. Obviously, it makes some news because it's new here to Nebraska. It's not new anywhere else. For years, guys would recruit kids from 7-on-7. Then they would have apartments in different places and all that. They do that all the time. They've done it up at different schools. I mean, Creighton Durham Hall did it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they were getting guys. And then they, down in Charlotte when I lived down there, different schools did it. So this is just new to Nebraska.
Is that how Drake May got there?
No, Drake May is a Myers Park kid.
Okay.
Like all his family.
There we go.
And he was a hell of a hooper. I'm dead serious. He could play. He could play some hoop. Man, I saw him the night Nick Saban and those guys were there just on a humbug. He's for real.
Better hooper, Drake May or Cooper DeJean?
Cooper DeJean.
Dang.
Yeah. Cooper DeJean is the more explosive. Drake May he's pretty cold.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, look, obviously they're going to be compensated to do so. Let's not be stupid, right? And so, if it was me, for example, I'll give you an example of my own. And, it came for me, Miami was obviously Miami, Nebraska, Iowa, were probably my final 3. A couple other ones, but just those are my 3. Miami was the distance, and they were going on probation. Nebraska obviously was my first choice, but Iowa was a close second. One of the things I didn't like about Iowa, which is because I hated school and academics, which is crazy. And I ended up going and doing some stuff at Harvard, but they wanted me to come 2 days after high school graduation and be down there and I guess work and take college classes or something like that back then.
No, thank you.
I was like, hell no.
HELL double hockey sticks now.
No, right? But this is what they're doing. This is no different. Now, I wasn't getting paid. Now, I will tell you, if Iowa was like, hey, we're going to pay you a couple $100,000 to come down here and even play for Iowa City, high school, my senior year, I would have been there. So I can't fault them for it. Now, is it ideal for Millard South's backup quarterback that's looks pretty dang good coming up because we saw him in the state champion. I've seen him play 3 games or 4 games this year. Obviously, they're beating people by so much he got in there. Is it ideal for him? Not really. Is it ideal way for a new coach to build a program? Probably not, because you're probably you're probably eliminating yourself for a lot of kids from Omaha to come there because now it's being viewed as you're the stopgap between high school for outside state kids, high school to Nebraska, and you never know when they're going to be there, who's going to be there.
That's the point. You just never know when you could get jumped in the pecking order through no fault of your own.
Right.
You mentioned the kid that's going to be the freshman quarterback. What's he thinking right now? It's never great to start a freshman. Maybe this kid's the best
He's
option.
a sophomore this
or
year.
sophomore this year. Sure. Okay. So, returning start or backup that's going to, have a year in the system already to take the step to be the starter feels pretty bad, especially when you are not explicitly a prep school, right? You have those academies, right? You have your IMGs. We know what that's for. You have your links, among others, right? You have these prep academies that you go to for a year or maybe two, polish off your high school credits. And, like Iowa State has a good relationship with Link Academy down in Missouri, right? It's kind of a finishing school for them in some cases.
Like Weber, the basketball player from Kearney, he's out.
Lumiere,
he's out there in Indiana. He's going to Purdue.
Yeah. And guess what? It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But those schools are prep schools.
Yeah.
They exist like that. And if that's what Millard South wants to turn into, more power to it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's sustainable for that school. I don't love that look, but the models worked for other people.
Yeah,
So whatever.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, there's IMGs, there's the school in Baltimore, and so that's just part of it. And it's just part of this type of this when Nebraska, you're able to, obviously, compensate some guys. It's not going to be every single recruit or high school recruits. If you got 20 guys in a high school recruiting class, it's probably going to be 2, maybe 3 per class. Now, obviously, Greg Smith said there might be some more. It'll just be interesting to see what the number is and what it does for Nebraska, in the long term. I think, the short term, they're getting them here. You got to, I would, like I said about anybody in the transfer portal, if they're willing to pay, you need to go get it. And it's going to, now you're going to have to grow up a little bit faster because you're not going to be under, your mom and pops or whoever your, superior is at home, but you're going to have to grow up faster. You kind of be under the eye of Nebraska and probably have some people here to keep you in check. But, when you look at the big picture, depending on where I'd like to probably think that wherever Ellis is from in Texas, I'm sure it's at or above where Class A Nebraska is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not. You are building continuity if you say you got your quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and say a lineman and tight end. I mean, you are building some continuity.
Right.
Now it's like take the money part over here and then take the playing part over here. The money part is the money part, and that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank. Anybody, you go get it. Because at that age, you can't ever make that back.
No.
Right? Because even if you make the money, save every single dollar, and let it sit there for 20-some years, you can't make that back by missing out on it. But the playing wise, it's like, okay, it's great. You got freshmen coming in. It's a really good thing. You're not winning the Big Ten championship with a bunch of freshmen coming from high school.
You're not.
Now, it will set you up in the future. Now, everybody has to develop at the same pace. You got to start stacking classes upon classes, portal classes upon portal classes, mix in those young guys. And when they come to fruition, then you're ready to rock and roll. So that's what you're doing. So that's what they're pushing for. It's a long process. Competition changes everything. Getting there and facing guys that can do everything you can do at the same amount of rate, and then you got to go and back to the dorms or your house and try to figure out how to get better day in and day out is something that you can't replicate, and you're only going to get that when you get on the college football campus.
And that's where you put those two camps, right? The money and the playing camp aside. A refrain that I've said and that other people have said is, well, I mean, so what about the money now? You play for the second contract, play for the third contract. And I get it. That's where a lot of the money is in the pro ranks. But to your point, either you have $300,000 when you're 18 or you don't have $300,000 when you're 18. There's no guarantee when you're 18 that you get a second and third contract. You can set your life up to be on that trajectory and do everything in your power to work to get there, but there's so much out of your control. What is in your control is you can sign on one little dotted line and, move 8.5, 10 hours down the road for $300,000 for 4 months of your time.
Yeah, and your parents would be here every weekend.
Right.
And who knows if they come on a long weekend. It's not that, I mean.
And regardless of how well you play, guess what? You still have your spot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're out. Yeah, you're signed, sealed, and delivered. We got a good question here from Corey. Number one, unknown Texas 1611. Who was paying them to go to high school? I mean, that's what the NIL, that's part of the, like Nebraska is a state you can get compensated at. Corey in Lincoln says this is a pretty interesting text. Does Rule not trust any Lincoln coaching staff to take these guys in. I mean, I'm assuming he's staying in Lincoln High School. I don't know what, I think, look, Millard South is the it school right now. Before that, it was West Side. Before that, it was Bellevue West. This has been going on for quite some time. And I'll be honest with you with this. There's guys that would have been going to different schools, going to West Side and going to Bellevue West that lived in different parts of Omaha. And really, if you get stuck in traffic or you got to be at school at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's about the same drive from here to Millard.
Yeah.
So this isn't new. It's just the fact that they are planted here in Lincoln from Chicago and from Texas. So they just moved in. So it'd be no different if somebody got transferred here and that's what you got. So it's not something drastically new. I think it's new because of, one, Millard South last year, right? Those guys, the way they built their team and the way they've been building their program, which I'll say they don't get enough credit for how well they were coached and how well they played and how tough they were and how much they played together. They do not the last 2 years. Sure, they went about it and they didn't break any rules. They just did what everybody else did, and they just did it to a little bit bigger magnitude. But now it's like for the Lincoln coaches, if I was a coach, I'd be like, dang, I would have liked to had him over there, but I think it's also a good time for Lincoln coaches to say, okay, let's try to up our game too.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody today, what's the biggest difference? Or he's like, what would you do if you were a Lincoln coach? Well, I was like, well, depending on what they let me do, right? But the
Right.
first thing I would do is, and I'm sure they are, and I can't speak, and I'm not saying that they aren't, but this is what I would do. And I only know this because I talked to my high school coach, and especially Coach Henning, one of my high school coaches, and Coach Grant at my high school, which is always nationally ranked. Guys go Power 4 every year. Myself to Mark Lavore that played at Notre Dame. James Laurinaitis started out there before they moved to Wayzata. Jermaine Johnson. I mean, we're talking about guys, you know what I mean? I mean, this is a well-established football program. They go down and they reach down to the very beginning of football. And they connect all the way up. Now, it's different because they can handle it because there is no North Eden Prairie or South Eden Prairie. There's just one high school, but the high school's expanded, right? So it's a commitment, though, once you get into like 7th, 8th grade. There is an off-season program. There is accountability. There is, competition. There is a lot of guys going out, for football. But you are allowed to play multiple sports. So that's what I do. I'd probably build a program and connect. And I would definitely I would be out there recruiting. I'd be at them Pee-wee leagues, like, you have to in order to get an advantage. Now, I wouldn't probably go and actively slide in kids' DMs when they're at schools, but I would, if they would approach, then I would, obviously be, trying to accept them or not.
Going off of what Corey was saying as well, it's not Matt Rule's job to win a state title for Lincoln.
No. And
Matt Rule's got to do what's best for the University of Nebraska Lincoln football team.
And I'm sure that these guys have they did their research. All these guys talk to each other. There's like two main high schools. It's West Side and Maryland South.
Right.
So, West Side already has Braylon Warren. You're not starting over him.
No.
So you go to the next one. Jet Tamala left. They just had 20-some guys go to college. A lot of them Power 4. Okay. They have a pretty good weight room and all that stuff. So that's where it's just kind of known where you'd go.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most logical sense. And I think if the infrastructure was better or, they had more success in Lincoln, sure, maybe it becomes an option. But it's not Matt Rule's job to hand pick and hand place recruits just to boost Lincoln football. I mean, Trey Taylor's good. Do I think he's good enough to overcome Westside, for example, next year on his own at one of the local teams? Probably not.
Yeah.
Sure, having a stud quarterback helps. It's not everything. I'm not sure there's the depth of talent right now in Lincoln, which goes to your point, Jay. Build up through the youth ranks, right? Get kids excited about football. Teach them the basics. Get that pride for wearing the blue, the green, the black and gold, the black and white, the red, whatever, black and blue, red and blue, whatever colors you're going to wear. And then guess what? You'll have more kids going out because they'll have more heated battles head to head. It'll be tense. It'll be competitive. It'll be enjoyable when they win the big game. It'll leave them wanting to go back to win the big game if they end up short. And I don't think it's necessarily the answer just to drop a quarterback into Lincoln say you're the chosen program that we're going to, try to help win a state title. That's not Matt Rule's job.
Yeah,
his job is to do what's best for the University of Nebraska. And if he thinks Millard South is the best place to do that, that's why he's sending Trey Taylor there.
Yeah, and I don't know if he even had any input. I just think it's kind of known. He might. But, to be honest with you, I mean, Lincoln's not too far off. You got to think just probably 10, 12 years ago, I think when the Foster brothers were there at Lincoln Southeast, and I think Luke Gifford was there as well, and some other guys, they won a state championship. That was just like 10, 12 years ago. So you're not too far off. Actually, it probably got Omaha into overdrive. That's where you saw Bellevue West had that offense and all that. And then obviously Westside took it, and now we're here present day in Millard South. And obviously there was other Millard West had really good teams and stuff like that. So Millard North. And so now you got to reset and, get busy. But, like Lincoln East, they were in a really good game against Central. I think they beat Central, and then they went and lost and kind of threw a late interception. So you're not too far off. I just think you need to really think about building a program. And no, it's not football at all costs, but you are coaching football. You are coaching sports. So you are trying to coach to win. You are trying to coach to be competitive. So, probably a little bit more energy into building programs and figuring that out. I think the first thing I would do, and we'll move on to these text messages, if I was a coach, I'm trying to dominate Lincoln first. That's my first thing I'm going to do. I'm trying to be the school here. You can't, right? The school here. So, when they have their city championship, I think they all they must play. And then, I think Lincoln East has been winning it for like the last 3 or 4 years. I'm trying to be dominant here.
Yeah.
Not disrespectful, dominant here. So it's going to be competitive, but I want to be dominant here. Then you got to roll up 80 to, deal with those guys when time when time is right. And we got a good text here from 0034. Right now, I will tell you this: Lincoln East brought in a coach from prep.
How about that?
What's the it school to go to for baseball? Lincoln East. And that's where and also there's other text here. Lincoln basketball is crushing it. This is probably the first time in the last 6 to 8 years, maybe even more, this many Lincoln teams are this competitive on a state level.
Yeah, seems like they have a legit shot to bring home a banner.
Bring home a banner, go and make some noise. Now it's all seeding now, because if you get into a district and you got 3 Lincoln teams in there, there's only one that making out of there. But
and then you got to hope for wild card.
Yeah, wild card. But this is a really good year, and this has been trending towards there. And there's a lot of kids that I've been coaching and associated with, so it can happen. It just does take some time. I do think there's a lot of football players and good athletes just walking around Lincoln. There's a lot of really good basketball players walking around Lincoln that just need an opportunity to go show their stuff. So
it's just, I'm trying to pull up the records here. Still the last Lincoln team to win a football championship, Jay, was Lincoln Southeast in 2011.
Yeah.
Before that, you had Kearney in 2006, Southeast in 2002, Southeast in 2000. Those are the only non-metro schools to win it in football. I'm trying to get it pulled up in basketball right now. This is on the boys side right now. Past state tournament results. Let's see, 2025. I need the history. Anyways, it's been a while since the Lincoln teams won state in basketball, right? And baseball, I like that example, right? Lincoln East has been pretty good. Southwest has had its moments. Southeast has had its players as well. But let's not count out Millard West.
Right.
Let's not count out Millard South.
Yeah,
Millard North made a run.
Right,
Papio South's been pretty good. Gretna East, just made it to the state championship in year one as a program.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lincoln East has been kind of the championship winning program, and that counts for something. But we just came through a long run of Omaha dominating. And shoot, Tyson Lewis went prep to pro from Millard West, right? Lincoln is sending guys to college. Absolutely. And Omaha is too. Cam Kozel went to Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Lincoln sending guys to college. Omaha's had some prep to pro type of guys too.
Yeah, and you just had the kid that was playing in the College World Series and stuff like that. So I mean, it just gets it. We got a good text here from 6169 before we go to break. Doesn't get much publicity, but high school wrestling in Nebraska has been building super teams for decades. That's how Omaha Scott won so many titles consecutively. And don't think like Omaha Scott and all them don't recruit. They just know how to work the numbers a little bit. So it happens. Obviously, this is obviously viewed as somewhat extreme just because you got high profile, I guess not incoming freshmen, a future commits.
So I did my research there, Jay. The last Lincoln team to win it in basketball, you have to go back to 2003 to Lincoln High. You had Norfolk in 2017, won one, but Lincoln High in 2003, Lincoln East 2001. You had a four-peat from Lincoln Northeast there in the mid to late 90s. And then it's been a lot of Omaha. Lincoln Northeast in 82. That is the next one. And then in baseball even, East won the last two. They took down Millard West in both of them in 23 and 24. Millard West, Millard South, Millard West, Prep, West Side, Creighton Prep, Papio, West Side, Millard West, Elkhorn, West Side, Millard North, Creighton Prep, West Side, Millard North, Millard West. Like, Omaha had a run in baseball too for a long time until East hired the prep guy and Michael Lanick, and they've done a really good job. I'm just like, it's not clear-cut Lincoln dominance in baseball either.
No. And it goes through, and it's a long time coming. A lot of those kids.
This was Millard West in 24 and East last year. Sorry.
And a lot of those kids have worked their way up through the club leagues, and they're very competitive. So I think, it's going to take a holistic approach. And if you want to change it, you just got to get a few guys that have a mindset that want to do it. I think the hard thing around Lincoln is there's not any club football and there's not any middle school football, so it's just kind of scarce. And then in basketball, which is really interesting, just because I know the kids, that a lot of these kids grew up not playing Supreme, but then they played last year, but they were able to kind of spread their wings. You know what I'm saying? And they played against these guys forever. So now you're seeing the fruits of it, right? And it's spread out all around the city. I'm sure if all these kids went on one team, I'm sure people would be mad as well. But guys are able to kind of get in where they fit in. So
we're sports fans. We'll always be mad. Come on now.
Nobody. I mean, the only people that are happy is when you win.
The money makers.
Yeah, the money makers, and when you're in high school, if you win a state championship, everybody else is a little upset. So, anyways, we'll take a quick break. Come back. We'll finish your text. Talk a little bit more. Football in high school and college, and what could be next, because the portal is closed. There's a couple interesting guys. Princewell picked his spot. The big tackle from Colorado is doing the rounds. We'll see where they go. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Clear your calendar. It's a volleyball weekend in Omaha. Love Nebraska returns to Baxter Arena for back-to-back home matches on January 30th and February 1st, facing Love Madison and Love Austin. 2 matches, 2 chances to see your hometown team compete as the season heats up. Featuring Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson taking on the likes of Lauren Carlini and Maddie Skinner, and special moments throughout the weekend. This is your opportunity to catch all the action live. Make it one night or both nights. Get your tickets now at lobbneb.com/tickets.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now, with prices starting at under $10,000 And we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Husker Nation, the countdown is on for the biggest women's basketball event of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear, with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PACPBA.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, second segment, 5 o'clock, free zone. Appreciate your text. Got another text. He says, 8438, he said he agrees 100% those kids and coaches deserve way more credit. Look, I mean, Millard South, Big Bird says this. Millard South did break rules. They had to forfeit a game due to rules infraction. Yes, and they were held accountable, and they ended up still winning.
Right. They forfeited their Vegas game, not an in-state game.
And it kind of messed up the playoffs because Westside and Millard South played in the semifinals. You'd like to see them play on the big stage, but look, man, I think it's just part of the way it is. I mean, I think from Nebraska's angle, you recruit these high-profile kids, you get them committed, and they want to be here. It's a good way to kind of keep them committed. And it's just part of the process. Now, the best thing you can do, obviously, whether you hear the peer recruiting is you got to win. That's easier. Because everybody has money within reason. And then when you're winning, and then obviously, winning and hopefully guys, are going to the next level, and you're playing in big games, right? You're thinking in college football playoffs and all that, that kind of helps the recruiting more than anything. So now obviously, but, I will say this, from the kids that I, work with here locally, then obviously, some kids in Charlotte, they do look at who's in their class for quarterback position. They do it because they know you generally recruit a quarterback every, recruiting cycle. So that is important. So it's good for Trey to be here. Like I said yesterday, the best thing you could do is learn from the do's and don'ts from guys that are prior. Reach out to people and see how to navigate this fishbowl. You are now, usually it's reluctantly you get thrown into the fishbowl and the pressure cooker. You are voluntarily jumping in there. So this is not Chicago. Chicago has a lot more going on than Lincoln. Obviously, it's a good and bad thing. They got the Cubs, they got the Bulls, they got the Blackhawks, they got other big high schools. They got everything underneath the sun. We're here, Nebraska is the main thing, is the only thing going. High school football is very prominent as well because it's connected and it's during the season.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're here, you're a high-profile kid and been, very, very vocal on all the different social media stuff. Now you are now into the pressure cooker. So now you have to do the due diligence and, accelerate your maturity and find out what worked and what didn't work for guys that here the previous, because it does affect how you play.
Yeah.
It does affect how you're perceived. And you have not played yet, right? There's no way in the world you can play college football next year. You're going to be playing the year after, but you're going to have to go play. And so you want to start out on the right foot. Not saying that you don't voice your opinion, but not everything needs your opinion,
right?
Because you're still in high school.
Mhm.
Enjoy high school. You made a move. I'm assuming you're going to have a couple roommates or at least a roommate. Enjoy that. Really, really dive into the experience. You're able to go and have a mini IMG experience. You're moving away from home. You're going to play football. You're getting paid.
And that's why I would almost, again, not my decision to make, but if I'm thinking at it through the coaching lens, he used the term redshirt year, which it's not. Again, maybe youthful exuberance in the phrasing, but the way this can be a redshirt year, or I would say maybe a trial run, is part of being quarterback, Jay, is learning the names, learning the faces, right? Being the leader of that organization. If you think you have any chance to come in and start in 2027, which I don't think would be wise, but if that's what you want to position yourself for, this is a crash course in how do I meet a bunch of people, remember their names, get to genuinely care about them in such a short period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's all those soft skills you can learn that we'll see what he learns on the football realm. But this can be a crash course in how to handle some of that being in the pressure cooker of being a quarterback at a high-profile program.
Oh, yeah, there's pressure on you right now when you get there. Because those guys have won. Listen, you just had by stat-wise, the best quarterback in Nebraska football history. Just be there. You'll probably see him sometime in the summer when he's back from Alabama.
Yeah.
You got guys that go into Missouri. The other tight end Lofton's is at Florida State. So you're coming into a position or into a program that who you are is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a part of the program. Like you said, it's a really good. I'm going to take it that your redshirt year is how to operate in, like, let's just say a mini college situation. You need to come in this shorter period of time, invest in the program with the right intention, invest in your teammates with the right intention, and go out there and play football in high school.
Yeah.
College will come.
Mm-hmm.
You can't learn two playbooks at the same time. Don't even try it. You need to learn their playbook. You need to learn their coaches. You need to be coached by them. Allow yourself to get coached hard, evaluate yourself, and try to operate as if you're in college while you're in high school. And then also make everybody else around you better. So your experience coming from Chicago is different than here. There's things that you can like teach or, let them learn about you or where you came from and some of the defenses or whatever you've seen as they can do the same for you.
Yeah.
And then go out there and play.
Go get your NAIA wide receiver a D2 offer.
Right.
Go get your D2 guy a MAC offer.
Right.
Whatever.
Just make your mark. It's been done before. And you do that, you'll come down to Lincoln at this time next year in January, 3 or 4 steps ahead of where you had been potentially coming from Chicago.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then it's 100% positive. You will be in a better position to make an impact when you do get a chance to play and you earn a chance to play. And same with Ellis as well, him doing it. And it'd be great for you guys. It's a good way for you guys to show leadership. You want to peer recruit, but you also want to have some leadership qualities. You're getting free reign to do that. You're the quarterback of a big-time program. There's a lot of pressure on you that because of what Miller South is trying to go for 3 in a row, so forth and so on. There's a lot of checks and balances that you can check off that will help you get into Nebraska, or when you get to Nebraska, you are ready or more ready and knowing what it looks like to get outside of your box, be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable and see where it goes. It won't be easy.
Right.
Look, people be gunning for you. You're 2-time state champ.
How do you handle it?
Yeah. It'd be a good chance that, if you're able to win a state championship, you'll be a champion. You'll be able to lead a team. In order for Miller South to win, he's going to have to display true leadership. It can't be, for them, and I don't know them, so I'm just saying, if I would give them any advice, you do not go down there and think you're just there to buy time. Don't do that. That's a waste of your time.
And theirs.
Right, and theirs. but go there and live it, learn it, and be 100% invested in it. You know, if you have a Miller South kind of jumpsuit, you know, you wear it at a game or whatever, you know, to ride the bus before you put your, I don't know if they wear the pads on I mean, that's how old I am. We used to have to wear we had a t-shirt and pads. I mean, I doubt
Bus didn't even have racks to put your pads up on top.
I'm sure they get there and they get, you know, they wear something to the game and that. Wear that. Don't wear the Nebraska stuff. Right. Be invested in that program and it'll work out for you.
Place like Eden Prairie would have had 3 or 4 buses. But
they do now. You know what's funny? When my senior year, we probably had less than 50 guys out.
Really?
For football. Now they got 150.
Dang.
Yeah.
You started something, Jay Foreman.
Hey, man. They still show my VHSs.
There we go.
It still got, you know, they don't got to speed it
Passed
up.
around like candy, all those young linebackers and running backs trying to learn how to play the game.
That number 6, that head cock back, it's 6 points, Jack. I'm telling you right now, I hit that sideline, I'm gone. Be like a mug. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the advice, and that's what they should do. And if I'm a teammate of his up there or a potential teammate, that's what I'm demanding as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, you're coming into our place. We are accepting you. You got to earn our trust, you know, and then we got to go out there and do it together. Because if you're just out there kind of just, you know, gracing everybody with your presence, you don't want to lose any of these reps. These are valuable reps. You're throwing to college guys. You're throwing to guys that want to get to or going where you're going or get to where you're at. So, you know, you're not going to a high school where only 2 guys really want to play football, or like, you know, 25%. Everybody wants to play real football. It's a program. And so if you're able to really dive into it, it'll be positive. So we'll see. Anyways, that's it on the soapbox. Who knows what'll be next? I mean, the next time somebody transfers in, heck, they might have a whole new team.
Might be tomorrow. Make 3 in a row.
Hey, they might have a whole new team. Hey,
Right?
man. It'd be a trivia question. It'd be a whole new team up there. It might be prep school of Millard. So we'll see what happens. And we'll see if somebody transfers in there between this break. But we're going to take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll get to your text, put a bow on it. We'll talk a little bit of NFL playoffs. Obviously, the games are this weekend. But there is some movements. I don't know if you saw San Francisco, my man Brandon. That might have been, I don't know who had the funniest press conference, the San Francisco 49ers or my Buffalo Bills. Man. That's tough sledding up there in Buffalo. Anyway, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Husker Nation, the countdown is on for the biggest women's basketball event of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear, with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PACPBA.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year's savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Husker Nation, the countdown is on for the biggest women's basketball event of the year, PAC PBA, coming up January 24th. This year, we're heating things up with the Big Red Beach Party. Watch your Huskers take on Big Ten opponent Illinois, decked out in your best tropical gear, with a specialty tropical drink in hand, all inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. PAC PBA is your tropical getaway right here in Lincoln. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/PACPBA.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, quick segment here, Old School. I wonder what the temperature is. It looks colder outside. Austin, get used to this.
It says it's 30 right now.
Oh, so it's good. So the temperature, as my mom says, the temperatures has not dropped yet.
Temperatures.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if it drops it like it's hot. But Austin, we're going to pivot. There's a breaking story.
Hello.
About your boy, Jim Irsay. There's an investigation into the death of former Colts owner Jim Irsay. The doctor that signed his death certificate used to supply him with, they say, extraordinary amounts of opioids and ketamine.
Probably.
And then he said then he put on there, I guess they had boxes or something. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but he checked that it was natural. So the family was pissed. And if you know his daughter, she ain't letting nothing slide.
She's about to be up in the hospital's business taking notes now,
Yeah, so I mean that's just interesting. That it's unfortunate. I think Jim Irsay, was a good owner. Obviously, had some issues, but I think overall is a good owner. I think he probably would have liked to take back the, I guess, divorce from Peyton Manning. How that went down. I mean, I'm sure there's things, but overall, I think a really good owner. Unfortunately, passed away, and who knows why. And you hate now, because obviously I just had a funeral, and now they probably just starting to kind of get over the grief or kind of dealing with it, and now it's all now you wonder.
And now here comes the FBI.
Yeah, asking questions. When's the last time you seen him? I don't know. Well, so all that stuff. So it's just interesting. And obviously, we got plenty of time tomorrow to get to your text and stuff like that. But I just thought that was really interesting. Now on to another owners.
This is
the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk. I mean, for all the receivers they've drafted, I was like, this is the guy. Can separate one-on-one, made the huge catch against Detroit.
Yep.
Lucky catch, but a huge catch.
Got it.
Was going to get traded to either the Patriots or the Commanders, re-upped with him. And then it seemed like he just sat around. In Pittsburgh was a team as well.
Yeah. But they got DK, so took him out of the round.
Got hurt, and then never been the same, never was around. It was just weird stories always coming out. And you always get it late coming from San Fran, the stories. John Lynch, they asked him about it. He said, listen, I don't know how it's going to be transaction-wise. He ain't never playing here again. I think as you see players get more power, I think you're going to see the powers that be say more stuff. And the reason why.
Well, that's just days after Dunleavy, just across the bay, said to make a demand, there's got to be demand.
Yeah, and you better be the man if you want to demand. And that ain't happening. So I think you're going to see a lot more frank conversations when you have guys that are highly compensated and definitely highly toxic at times, right? And then you go to Buffalo, right? And I think Keon Coleman is just a phenomenal athlete. Probably a year or two maturity wise behind where he needs to be at. When you're a healthy scratch as a high second round pick in a position of need at that point in time because of injuries at Buffalo, by missing meetings, multiple meetings with that fine, you're missing game checks and all that, you set yourself up for being criticized. And obviously his production wasn't what they needed this year, what Josh Allen needed. He actually played well against Denver. He showed what he actually could possibly do. But then they fired Sean McDermott, and the owner said, we fired him because of the Denver game. That's a game I'm going to keep you.
Right.
I mean, Sean McDermott went out there and rode for Buffalo. Whoever you talk to, I thought it was a catch. You come in undermanned, and you pretty much.
And your franchise quarterback who never has 4 turnovers in a game anymore randomly has 4 turnovers in a game, and you lose in overtime.
And you didn't have bad clock management.
Right.
Now, it started with the conversation. You felt like the roster needed to be upgraded. It does. The roster.
Don't tell Brandon Beane that.
And under Brandon Beane is not very good either. 56 draft choices, only 2 are Pro Bowlers, and a lot of them are gone. But then the owner takes it a step further. So now you fired the coach. He's like, oh, yeah. He was coerced by the coaching staff to draft Keon Coleman.
It was McDermott's pick.
Yeah. But little does he know, after Keon Coleman ran a 4.56, Brandon Beane was like, that's good. Because it's good for us, he'll still be there. And then they compared him to Gabe Davis. And that was the year that they let Gabe Davis go down to Jacksonville.
Yep.
It was
after Gabe Davis dang near won a playoff game.
Right. Bye. Thanks. Yeah.
This guy ran a 4.56. We got your replacement.
Yeah. And you ran a 4.54. So now that, but that's also, evidence that he wanted to draft him. Everybody was on board to draft a big receiver, 50-50 catches. They liked it when he was talking about the jackets and all that. And that's a really good example of, okay, the funny stuff is okay the first year. The second and third year, you better start being what they expect you, or they're going to get you up out of there. Now you're Keon Coleman, probably back in Florida. You don't know what's up. If I'm his agent, you just got to let him go. The owner hates you.
Right. put you on blast in front of everybody.
Right. Yeah.
You're catching strays. A press conference is not about you.
See, I thought it was bad when Ralph Wilson didn't know my name. I just knew I had to earn it. He knows his name, and he don't like it. So, with that being said, we're out of here. We're up against the clock. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you tomorrow. Austin will be on the road, up in the MPLS representing. Give me 2 places to go in Dinkytown and make sure you survive. I got your back up there, brother. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Appreciate you guys listening. Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
So as women, we're so hard on ourselves, and I just wanted a simple way to feel confident again and to feel like me again. And the Spectrum 7 at Max Tan gave me that little spark back and can also give it to you too. A full body light that makes my skin and my spirit feel brighter.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions from major sports venues.